Hey, hey AJ, how's it going?
Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Don't crash, don't crash, don't. I'm glad you said it three times. It only works if you say it three times.
It does. We proved it
It's
many
a,
times now.
it's the Zenith formula. Yeah. Man, this is gonna be quite the day, huh? We're gonna have
Yeah.
do you, what pizza bet? Will we still be friends in 2 hours from now?
Yeah, let's have a reminder out there because we might have some new cats out there. Brian and I are great friends.
I mean, well,
He's one of my best friends.
hey! Listen, wait. I like being transparent with the cats, but let's not fucking lie. We're good friends. We're okay acquaintances. We tolerate each other most days.
What? Get out of here, man. Is that how you feel about me? All right, it's on now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, these discussions get very heated, and all the cats that are here have been here for a long time. Understand this, but you know we're gonna get mad at each other, and we're going to call each other silly names, and at the end of it, our faces are going to be red, and we're
You
going to be really
wouldn't
drunk.
dare.
But yeah, but don't worry, it's all in the spirit of making the best list possible for you guys, and we want to hear your opinions. We want you to be loud, be very vocal about your thoughts on this. But dude, we shouldn't waste any more time. Let's get this show started. What do you think?
Let's do this.
Let's go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and thank God it's Friday right here on YouTube. 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. That's how you can watch it live. But if you don't like watching us live, you can always listen to us later on any podcast streaming service of your choice, like Apple Podcast or Spotify. My name is Bryan Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and this gentleman over here, the guild leader himself of the Gamecat Dojo. It's AJ from the Underground. PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats, aka the tiebreaker, most likely, of today for a lot of our disputes because we're used to running this with three people, and now it's down to two,
Yeah.
and we don't have a tiebreaker. So, yeah, just be ready, cats, to vote when the polls come a dropping, and support the games that you want to be on the list and whatnot. And yeah, man.
Listen. I like to blame Dave for when these things used to go long, and so if it goes long today, it's we
No
can't
more
blame
excuses.
we can't blame Dave anymore. Dave was an easy scapegoat. We're just like, oh, it was Dave's fault because because it was just easy to blame Dave. But we love Dave, and I actually considered, just if anybody was wondering, I considered getting Dave on here for today's show. But I checked in with him, and he hasn't played some of the most recent games. Definitely a lot of top 25 contenders. So that wouldn't have made very much sense. But three people is always more fun. But I think AJ and I can make a nice solid list with all of you cats. And before we even get started, I want to give a shout out to Salvador with the $10 tip. Says, "Sup, Game Cats? Glad to be here. Part of the guild. Have a great and clean or not so much debate." Thank you very much for the tip. We also have
Well, Salvador.
Salvador again. Holy shit! With the $5 tip, says the light bulb went out because of all the great ideas for your list, AJ. Is that what you told him? That the
All
light
the
went
secrets are hidden underneath the beanie. That's right.
out? Oh man, one day we're gonna see underneath the beanie. It's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be epic or scary. We got Ben Stedman with the 90 quid. He didn't say anything. Thank you so much, man. Super generous. Thank you for being here, for watching, and make sure you have your coffee brewed and your pizza ordered because it's gonna be
Ben Stedman.
one of those nights. Donatello, the Science Game Cat with $20 tip, says, "I can't say it any louder. RE7 is number one." Right, AJ?
Right, Donnie. We'll see.
I can say it louder for you, Donnie. Don't worry about a thing. Mad Max, the Metaverse Game Cat VR with the $2 tip, says, "We all agree Zenith is number one at the end of the list."
Oh,
Zenith's
my
number one.
recency bias.
End
Mad
of
Max.
list.
Have some professionalism.
Fuck professionalism. Dude, I love recency bias. I've said it 1,000 times. I like each of these lists to kind of be like a kind of a snapshot of a moment in time where we were all at with PSVR. And if there's a little recency
Right.
bias, and I think that's kind of cool. So
It makes every list different, right? In some way, like
Yeah.
every list just naturally, even if there's no games that release, Some games are different over, with some games withstand the test of time and others do not.
Yeah, I feel like in 6 months we're gonna go, hey, remember when we were all playing Zenith? Just kidding.
Too soon, bro. Too soon.
Too soon. I mean, I hope that's not the case, man. I hope Zenith is the game we play for the next 3 years or more. But we shall see what happens. Dude, listen, we've got so many games to talk about. All these, we've got this big, gigantic list to make. But before we really get the show rolling, we want to make sure that, like we do every Friday, give a nice shout out to some very special people in our community. Isn't that right, AJ?
That is right, Brian. We would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing their name to something Gamecat related, or something Gamecat adjacent, as you and something Gamecat adjacent likes to say. And this week, we have 5 new Gamecats to welcome to the Gamecat Dojo. Although, I will say, we have welcomed 131, actually 132 Gamecats to the Gamecat Dojo recently. Here's an additional 5, starting with Fuko, the Gamecat.
Bing! Fuko. I am Fico, the Carpathian.
He is Fuko.
He is Fuko.
Look at this painting. Also, Slyward 251, the 101 Gamecat. I like it.
That means he's the 101st person to join the Gamecat Dojo. Is that what that is?
Yes.
I like it. Yeah, everyone keep track of their numbers. That's cool.
Genetic B, the Gamecat.
That's awesome.
It's cold outside, right?
So everything gets smaller? Is that what we're saying here? No, that's not what you were saying. You were saying. I thought you were talking about shrinkage, but let's. You know what?
The abbreviated Gamecat, Brian.
It's freezing cold over here, man.
I just read it verbatim. It was. We've also got serial killer, the inevitable cyber ninja, Gamecat.
Bing! The
go
inevitable
cyber ninja, go cyber ninja, go.
Ninja Gamecat. I like it. He's already staking his claim on the class.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Finally, last but certainly not least, we've got Magical Gamecat.
Bing. Magical Gamecat. Sorry, we didn't give you a shout out on last week's show. That's Kill Artist's kid, by the way. And right. So welcome to the Gamecat Dojo.
Nice.
Our friend.
Which one? One of them's in the guild.
I mean,
if it's a she,
yes.
I think. She joined the guild as well. She's
Fantastic.
one of our guild members.
Woohoo! All right.
Welcome.
Well, guys, don't forget, if you want to shout out for changing your name to Gamecat because you love us almost as much as we love you, make sure you put hashtag Gamecat in the comments, not the live chat, the comments down below any of our videos, and I'll find it and give you a shout out next week's show. Remember, hashtag Gamecat, all one word. If you don't do it that way, it's impossible for me to find you. And of course, we'll also, it's going to get real confusing because people are going to be joining the Gamecat Dojo, and people are going to be joining the Gamecat Dojo and be like, well, which one did I just join? But yeah, make sure you join both by finding AJ in Zenith. We got 2 more tips before we get the show started. That's Looper, the Underground Gamecat, who, by the way, tipped us last show, and I didn't read it out. I promise I do my best to give a shout out to every single person who tips, but every so often one's going to slip by. It's no guarantee we're going to get them all, but I mean, like 19 out of 20 isn't too bad. He writes with the €5. Screw recency bias. Number 1, Wanderer. Number 2, Zenith. Number 3, Song in the Smoke. Episode over.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gatorade 23, the
H2
despising Gamecat with a $10 tip, says Skyrim will always make my top 5. What?
Top 5. It says 2, but
you're right. Top 5. Why can't I figure that shit out? Make my top 5 due to unmatched content and exploration/size, along with No Man's Sky. It'll be interesting to find where Skyrim and No Man's Sky fall on my list and AJ's list. And then, of course, the final list. Aceville VR with the $2 tip says, did someone say super hot? Super hot. Oh, I'm early. My bad. Aceville, I don't know if you're going to be happy or not today. We will find out.
We will find out, Ace.
TCMF Games Official with the $7 Canadian. With the PSVR 2 PlayStation site going up today, when do you guys see PSVR 2 event happening?
March 4th. Somebody's been pointing out. Somebody's been pointing out that the headset or the announcement, the first PlayStation VR 2 announcement was January 4th, and then today, 1 month later, the website goes up on February 4th. Come on, Sony, don't let us down.
Don't let us down.
Make it March 4th. So
don't let us down.
Oh, from the info I have,
Don't let us down. Sorry, I've
You're
had
gonna
way too
copyright
much
that.
coffee today.
it's going to be somewhere between February and March for sure. So I'm expecting, if I had to guess, by the end of March, I would say, but could be sooner. It's too bad they didn't do it on the 2nd, because then it could have been like 22 for PlayStation VR 2. We don't have enough 2s in our lives.
Sure. This is true. I don't know what to say about that. AJ, let's get this thing going, man. Raven Switch, by the way, says hello from Spain. Hello from these states that are
What's
united.
up, Raven? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you've been well. Good to see you again. And if you've been around, I'm sorry. Maybe it hasn't been that long, but I remember everyone. I have a good memory.
He says, as he's like, I don't know if I've seen you around. I have a great memory. I have no idea when the last time I saw you was, Raven.
I remember
Sorry.
seeing Raven Switch not too long ago.
Okay. All right. I'm going to switch over to our full screen where we can reveal our lists to the cats, and then they can basically badger us for the next hour about how bad our lists are, which I'm fully anticipating. So let's see here. AJ, would you like to start off and read your list starting from number 25?
Oh, fine. I'll go first. I usually make you go first, but I'll do it this one. All right. So let's explain real quick, Brian, what's going to happen here. Mm-hmm. For those who haven't maybe seen this before, we've both got our own top 25 list of the games that we believe are the top 25 games in order, and we both read them off, and then we put them next to each other, and then if Brian's wants to have a little fun, he can make a little poll to say whose is better, but we don't have to do that, but it's fun. Okay. And then we start doing the brackets. Then we work our way up, and we find out which games are going to be within which brackets, starting with number 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and so on and so on. And then once we figure out what games are in those brackets in no particular order, right, then we start from 25 and work our way back down and put them in the proper order, and then we end on the number 1 PSVR game of all time. This is not 2021 or anything. This is of all time.
So we essentially make 4 lists. We each come to the table with our own personal list, and as you saw, we did our personal favorites before, but these are not that. We're trying to say we're trying to make the definitive list for all PSVR gamers. If you're a PSVR gamer, you need these. Not if you're like me and you really like horror or really like whatever. Like, we're trying to make the best list possible. So AJ made one, I made one. We're going to combine those together into one that has no real order, and then a 4th one that is in order. And so it's going to take a minute, but bear with us.
Timekeeper says I'm lost.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start over again.
Okay, so okay, so AJ, right, starting from number 25, read your list. Everybody can already see what his 25th is because I already have it exposed. Ooh.
Oh, why'd you do that? Okay, now you got to do it after.
Because you're way too slow.
Surprise. Okay, at number 25, I have Arashi, Castles of Sin, or Arashi.
That's not what I have at number 25 for you.
What?
You sent me the list you sent me literally seconds ago has Zing the Land Beyond at number 25.
Oh, I must have swapped that last second. Number 25, we have Zing the Land Beyond. I updated it, I guess. Sorry. Let me go back to it. The rest are the same, I promise. Number 25, we've got Zing the Land Beyond. Number 24, Arashi, Castles of Sin. Number 23, Sniper Elite VR. Number 22, Catch and Release. Number 21, Borderlands 2. Yes, it's back. Number 20, Swordsman. Number 19, here you go, Aceville, Super Hot. Number 18, Beat Saber. Number 17, The Persistence.
I'm sorry. Am I not allowed to boo while you read this?
You can boo all you want. Yeah. Let's see. Number 16, Blood and Truth. Number 15, suck it, Brian, Moss. Number 14, Hitman 3. Number 13, Wipeout Omega Collection. Number 12, Skyrim. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR. Number 11. This one dropped a little bit for me, which is kind of crazy, but Dreams. Number 10, Song in the Smoke. Number 9, Zenith, The Last City. Number 8, Wanderer. Oh my God. It's like if these new games that came out were really good or something. Number 7, Farpoint. Number 6, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. Number 5, No Man's Sky. Number 4, Firewall, 0 Hour. Number 3, Astrobot Rescue Mission. Number 2, Resident Evil 7. And at number 1, the returning, reigning, defending champion, undisputed PSVR champion, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
I hate your list so much, like for so many reasons. I really do. Holy crap! All right, man. We're gonna have some issues here, and I can't wait. But also, the best part about this is you're gonna hate my list too.
I'm sure I am.
All right,
because at least one of us actually put some work and effort into their list. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're gonna be finishing your list as you're saying it right now. So please tell the people what you came up with 5 minutes ago.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to get a poll together, so we can see what the cats think of your list statement there. Whose list is better? And don't worry, I will wait until I actually read mine.
Jeremy, the NES rookie, says no Alvo. I know, man. It's hard. There's a lot of good games, and Alvo is going to be like one of my it's going to be one of my honorable mentions. At least it has to be, man, because it's really good.
We got, just before I read anything, we got Nihilus Ryan, the game feeling with the $5 tip, says, having played Transformers in the arcade, I'm actually really looking forward to it in VR, but we shouldn't expect a long game, an hour at most, I bet. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that compares to the arcade version. But it does look good. I like the new footage. And we also have et.2k9.now with the $10 tip, says, since you're looking for a third, how about getting Ryan from the VR Grid? That's a big no. Polish Paul.
Also a big no.
or Wes for the next top 25 list. Listen, Wes had nothing but my utmost respect until after the fall came out. Moving on. Hopefully everybody knows that we're joking. That
Shout
we love
out to
all
Virtual
three of those
Strangers
guys.
And Wes. No, I did a Virtual Strangers in the Night podcast with them. I was their special guest. So make sure you go check out Virtual Strangers and go see me on there. And we chat about Wanderer, Zenith, PSVR 2, and they previewed Ultra Wings 2. So, yeah.
Nice. Number 25, Windlands 2.
Blech! No, I'm kidding.
Number 24, Demo Reborn. Number 23, Until You Fall. Are any of these games on your list yet? No, none of these games are on your list.
This is gonna be a little harder than I thought.
Number 22, Pinball FX2 VR.
Oh
Pinball.
My God. This is gonna be easier than I thought. Okay.
Number 21, Golem. Number 20.
I almost had that.
This is great, man, because none of these are on your list. Puzzling Places at number 20.
Oh my God.
Yep. And we're moving on to number 19, which is Star Wars Squadrons. Is that on your list?
Oh shit, that's one I kept looking at it and making a note saying add that, and I never did.
Well, I mean, that's what you get when you don't do it till 5 minutes before the show, Mister. I didn't put any work into my list. Number 18, Blood and Truth. Number 17, Super Hot. Number 16, Blair Witch VR. Number 15, making a triumphant return to where it belongs on this list, Red Matter. Number 14, Farpoint. Number 13, No Man's Sky. Number 12, Firewall 0 Hour. Number 11, Wipeout Omega Collection. Number 10, Hitman 3. Where's Hitman on your list? Okay, 14. That's
14.
Yep. Let's
This is
see.
a tough one.
No, it is a very tough one. Number 9, Wanderer. Number 8, Astrobot. Number 7, Skyrim VR, where it should be. Number 6, Song in the Smoke. Number 5, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners.
Oh, that's a bit low.
Number 4, Dreams. Number 3, Beat Saber. Number 2, Zenith. Number 1, obviously, Resident Evil 7.
You had Zenith at number 2.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. That's my favorite game right now. Like, that is my favorite game. So it shows you how unbiased and I can be when doing these.
Yep. Real quick, we got Alberto Mapam El Gamegato with the 50 Mexican pesos. Said you should do top 25 3D rudder compatible games just for the lols.
Oh God.
Don't say that too loud or Nick will show up. Oh yeah, I forgot. Thank you, Dan Kiefer. I almost forgot to ask the question. Whose list is better?
Oh man, can I vote for myself?
You can do whatever you want. The only downside is that I can't vote for myself. So it's
okay. So I won't do it.
Okay, fine.
Or are you saying that just to trick me?
Mad Max, the Metaverse Gamecat VR with a $5 tip says Zenith can't be number one. Can't be one because few years it won't be the MMO people play. What happened to Nice Shot, Jimmy? Can't be number one because few years it won't be the MMO people play. But what about right now?
You know that. What about
right now?
Did you travel in the future?
Right. Did anybody think that World of Warcraft was going to last as long as it did? The answer is
what else happens in the future?
Right? I'm very excited for that. All right, man. Well, this is going to be extremely interesting. We got to bring up yet a third list now, and we start debating. Now, to clarify for everybody at home and to ourselves, let's be honest. What we're doing now is we're creating brackets, right? So we're saying these are the games that are going to be in 1 through 5, 6 through 10, yep, whatever, but not in any order within those brackets. And we do start at number 1, right? 1 through 5.
Yes, we do start at 1 through 5. We have to first determine what is going to be in the top 5 games. So look, let's make this a little easy here. Mm-hmm. We both have Resident Evil 7.
We do.
We both have Saints and Sinners.
Okay, so
I think that's where it stops.
All right. So
where's Astrobot on your list?
He's there somewhere.
Okay, number 8. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that might be a little too low. He needs to get bumped up past the teens.
So, we'll see. Does the poll that you read, does that give us any leverage in this at all?
Let's see. Depends what the poll is.
I can't see how long does the poll last?
It needs a little bit more time before we discuss the results. Right now you've got 55% of the votes, and 85 people have voted. It is close. You guys, come on, vote.
Very close.
Get out there and vote. You can turn the tides of this election. We've got. Let's see here. I just want to make sure we don't miss any tips. We got Ash VR with a $3 tip. Says fist bump. Thank you.
Fist bump to you.
Okay, so we'll leave that poll running a little bit longer until I pull ahead.
Bogeycat Productions says no Immortal Legacy, Brian.
So Immortal Legacy, dude, you should see all the games that were supposed to be on my list that didn't make the cut.
Yeah. And that's what people need to realize too, is that if you don't see a game here, it doesn't mean it's a bad game. This is hard. This was actually supposed to be a top 50, but because we had a couple more releases, we want the top 50 to be when we finally when it's our final list or something. That's going to be the ultimate definitive. We're going to PSVR 2. Here are the top 50 PSVR 1 games that you need to play. Right now this is what makes it kind of fun, even though it's a bit heartbreaking. And keep in mind there is room for honorable mentions. So we will get some games that if you maybe don't see here will be in honorable mentions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, we can't mess around because this is going to take quite a while as is, and I don't want to be here all night, just part of the night. So, as you said, Resident Evil 7 is on both of our lists in top 5. Saints and Sinners is in both of our top 5 lists.
Yes.
And that's really where it ends, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Um,
So let's see what we have here. Now, listen. So I was gonna put Until Dawn: Rush of Blood on my list, but
it's
you know
not
what?
even on your list at all.
It's not because I finally said, you know what? If it doesn't fucking work properly on
Wait,
PlayStation
wait,
5,
wait.
yeah,
But you have trained me. You have trained me for months now, saying that we are judging the games by the best version of the game.
yeah,
So if PS5 version of Until Dawn: Rush of Blood has an issue, then we are talking about the PS4 Pro version. That is what we've gone over several times, and that's how I made this list.
yeah. I
Did
broke
that
my rule.
change?
I broke my rule because I got
Okay.
mad.
I know. I feel you. That's what happened to me last time.
Yeah. So just in case anybody was wondering where it went, why? Because I absolutely fucking love that game and I think it's amazing. Should be on every list. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Look at that. Oh, I didn't realize I could do that. That's weird. Oh, I should have done that while we were revealing. Oh, sorry. You guys can't even see what I'm seeing. Oh, you know what? I'll just stop talking about it. Okay, here's the final list. Resident Evil 7, Saints and Sinners. They're both on top 5. I mean, how do you Dream slip so far out of the top 5 for you?
Okay,
at
so I'll be
11.
honest with you.
Yeah.
Dreams, while it has had some amazing support by the community, I actually dropped it a little bit because of the support from Media Molecule. They do a lot of stuff, but when it comes to the VR version, they don't really do a whole lot. They never fixed the default move controls to their god awful default mapping. There are workarounds for that, of course. There's different templates that some people have created. When you go in there, it is super hard for me to find the games that I like. Yeah, half of the best games that I've played are most of the time DualShock, and I think that's partly because of the tools that people were given. If you wanted to make something with the move controllers, it's like twice as hard. And so like, yeah, I love Dreams. I love everything about it, and but I actually it dropped for me because I don't think the VR side is getting enough support for the game.
Okay. I'm trying to make some concessions here, trying to figure out what we can how we can move this along a little bit. Trying to figure out what is in my top 5 that doesn't need to be there. And honest, and I got to be honest, I'm having a real hard time with that because, I Dreams is at number 4 for me, and so I'd be okay moving it down to the next bracket, but not far down the next bracket.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. I think Astrobot has to be in this bracket. And because I feel like it's a perfect game. So my top 10, by the way, is it's mostly designed. I'm actually okay with Dreams making it into the second bracket if Astrobot makes it into the first bracket.
Very interesting. Let's see here. I just want to see Resident Evil 7, Saints and Sinners. I'm trying to think what else really needs to be in the top.
My top
5.
10 is kind of so the top 10 for the most part. There is a little bit of wiggle room here, but for the most part, my top 10 are these are the games that kind of revolutionize genres into VR. So Walking Dead is even though it's maybe not a specific genre, it's the physics, it's the interaction, the immersion, the immersive gameplay, just the overall quality of it. But it also is a survival game, so it kind of is the survival as well. Or let's just say it's the VR zombie game. Resident Evil 7, horror. Astrobot, platforming. Firewall, multiplayer shooters. No Man's Sky, exploration. And so on and so on. And so that's kind of why those are my top tier games, because those are these revolutionized the genre on PlayStation VR 1.
Yeah, I just said what are the best games. Mad Max the Metaverse Gamecat VR with a $5
too.
tip says, you have to look at games as, is this game good as a single player game? Zenith might be great now, but if zero player base, will it really be two, Brian?
No, we don't look at it that way.
You can't look at it that way. It's an MMO. Like it's an MMO that is thriving right now, and it's amazing right now.
Yeah, even if you were looking at it that way, that would actually move it up my list.
Yeah, it's
So that, I don't think that really works.
That's like saying, hey, would this driving game be okay without cars?
That's that. Yeah, I mean, that's also like saying, will this game be great when? Will this game be as good when PSVR 6 is out or PSVR 6 is out?
Definitely like, talk in the moment.
It's kind of a weird thing.
And that's why, like, Mad Max, and in a year from now, if Zenith doesn't have any player base and they haven't updated it, and it's not nearly as exciting to play as it is today, then that's why it'll be someplace different in our list next year. But we can't predict the future, so we've got to talk about it for right now. All right, let's get back to this. We're gonna make some tough decisions, I think, and fairly quickly here. All right, let's make sure we get Dreams into 6 through 10. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Small concession. And,
totally fine. I love Dreams.
And I'll give you your Astrobot in.
And I think Dreams is a revolutionary game, which is where I kind of believe the top 10 should be one of those revolutionary type of games.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why. That's why we got to push Until Dawn, Rush of Blood out of your top 10.
Maybe.
It's awesome, but
I don't think it has to be top 10 as much as I think it should be on the list. Mm-hmm. But wait, hold on.
What?
So the deal that I said was not to get rid of Rush of Blood from my top 10. It was to put Astro into the top 5.
And that's where it is.
Dreams. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we still have 2 more here.
That's right. And so let's see. What do I need to fight for here? What do I need to fight for?
What do you have? Beat Saber?
I've got Beat Saber and Zenith as the other 2 in my top 5 that need to find a place.
Why do you think Beat Saber is a top 5 game?
Because I've put a ton of time into it. It's just one of those games that, like, you can keep going back to time and time again. Like, whether you spend an hour trying to perfect a certain song, or whether you just need to blow off a little steam or sweat a little bit, get a workout. It's kind of like that game that's just always there. Like, there are games that you play through once. You're like, that was the most amazing thing ever. I'm gonna hold that in my head for the rest of my life, which we'll talk about with Wanderer soon. And but then there's games that you just can never uninstall from your hard drive because you're always going to go back to it. And every time there's new DLC, or they add a new modifier, or they add a new block type like that's incoming, or multiplayer, or whatever, you've got to go back to it. And so you just always leave it on your hard drive because you're always gonna want to play that. And so for me, that's just a game that's like a continuous game. Even after I platinumed it, I was like, I just need to keep going with that.
What if I told you that No Man's Sky is a more continuous game? Never-ending game that is not limited.
Yeah, I mean that's a great argument for that game, but it's not that game for me. So yes, I understand where you're coming from because of what I just said, but yeah, that game's not that for me. Beat Saber was that game for you, and I think you burnt yourself out on it. And I think that if you
I didn't really burn myself. No. If I'm really honest with myself, is that every couple of months I get a music pack that I have no interest in. Mm-hmm. I don't care about Lady Gaga. I don't care about Billie Eilish. I don't care about I like the music more in Dragon Ride VR than I do in Beat Saber.
So you didn't like the Linkin Park DLC? You don't like any of the OST? You don't like any of that?
Linkin Park was better for me, but I still think they limit themselves in like music variety, and that kills me. I
don't think they limit themselves in music variety. I think they limit themselves to music that you don't like.
And that's
maybe? Fine. That is totally fine if it's not music that you like. But I think it's really hard to say that there's no music variety there. It's a lot of genres that you are not a fan of.
Maybe maybe the variety is kind of there. I don't know.
I mean, dude, they have Green Day, they have Panic at the
They don't
Disco, they
really-
have Imagine Dragons, they also they have like dubstep OST. I mean, they've got Lady Gaga. I mean, like they're all over the fucking map with their music, with their genres. You know, like Linkin Park. Like, I mean, really, that's 6 different genres.
I don't think that. So I wouldn't say they have great music variety. They have some variety, but they certainly don't have good like musical depth. I don't think there's any depth to their musical tracks.
I'm totally reading this as I don't like the genres that they've chosen. Because I don't love the genres they've chosen, but in no way, shape, or form can I say Beat Saber doesn't have music variety or genre variety.
What I will agree with is that it is a really fun game. It has amazing technical gameplay, and the gameplay is very, very polished. And it has a variety of gameplay modes and backgrounds and good-looking presentation.
Okay, hey, well, listen. How about this? Because Beat Saber is that game for me, and because No Man's Sky is that game for you, let's put those in the top 5. Let's round out this bracket with both of those games, because we agree that these are games we keep going back to. That for a lot of people, that game that they keep going back to will be Beat Saber. For a lot of people, the game they keep going back to will be No Man's Sky. So let's just make concessions and say both of these belong in the top 5. Because my No Man's Sky is 13 for me, so that's bringing it way up on the list. Tornado was ready to knock my whole fucking system over.
I'm okay with putting Beat Saber in there. You can go ahead and add that. I'm really not against it. I love Beat Saber. Again, these are top 25 games we're arguing here.
No, I'm with you. But why not No Man's Sky, which is in your top 5?
What I'm stuck on is, would I rather have Firewall or No Man's Sky here?
Okay, so I am. I think Firewall's awesome. It's number 12 for me, and I think that has sort of done the same thing that Dreams has for me, right? Like when your argument against Dreams being high on the list, that's sort of my argument against Firewall being high on the list, because I think Firewall it had great support from the developers, and I think it still has good support. But you know, we need those new maps and new contractors and everything else, because that's what I go back to Firewall for, is new maps, and like, let's check out these and let's see what the strategic locations are, and let's see how you can, like what the best place to, that's the kind of stuff.
Both of these games, I literally have hundreds of hours in. I don't think I can say to either one that none of them, like one did like better, support over the other, because they both actually really supported. It's just a tough one for me.
I think they both had great support. I think No Man's Sky has had the best support of any game ever, though. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to tell you to push Firewall out of the top 5. You gave me Beat Saber. If you want to put Firewall in the top 5, by all means, I'm not going to argue.
I'm very conflicted here.
Waleed Saeed Paridi with the Canadian $2 tip says, "Hey guys, I would have had Farpoint above Beat Saber."
Me too, Waleed. Me too.
Donatello Science Gamecat with $5 tip says, "What carries more weight for both of you? More time put into the game, or most fun you've had with the game?" I think
probably most fun.
I think it's
I mean, they're both important though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the hours that I play come without having fun. I don't think if I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't put in all those hours. So I don't know if I can separate those two.
Like I struggled to go back and play Astrobot, but that first time I played it was like, it was like one of the most happiest playthroughs of my life. So like it was like one of the most like joyous moments playing through that game ever. So yeah, even though I've struggled to go back and play it sometimes, it was like perfect. So that's why, and so I made the argument. So yeah.
Just snacks and please, the heightened emotional response Gamecat, which I love that name. $2 tip says, happy pre-order sign up Friday. Thanks, Snacks.
Nice. I'm gonna go with No Man's Sky. Let's just go. Let's go. I like Shades of Grey saying it's a broader experience. And but I do hope that Firewall falls into. Can I put Firewall? Can I Can I get Firewall to be in the next bracket?
I mean, not without a little
did
fight.
I say?
Because
Okay.
I was opening up one space for you because you opened up one space for me for Beat Saber. So we will talk about it and we shall see.
Do we need to look at some of these other games here before we finalize this? Before we finalize No Man's Sky as the 5th, do we need to look at like let me see yours.
Can you see
Do
mine?
we need to look into like Wanderer or Song in the Smoke or something here?
I mean, so the deal is that Zenith was in my top 5 as far as like new games go. Song in the Smoke was 6, Wander's 9. Like all these new games are top 10 games for me.
Zenith is going to be really high up on my list. It is. I put it top 10. And the thing is like I think with every list, I think Zenith is going to slowly climb. It's only been out a week. It hasn't had enough time to get some bugs fixed, some polish added, a little bit more like fleshed out and straightened edges here and there. So like, but it's still with what is there is absolutely incredible, which is why I still have it as a top 10 game. But I actually am not even worried about it because I know it's going to be somewhere high on the list, and I think it's going to actually climb that list as time goes on.
AJ, just FYI, you have won this poll with 139 votes. 58% of the people said that your list is better. 42% like my list better. Thank you very much for voting, everyone. Even though a good number of you were wrong. 57% of you, in fact, were wrong. No, that's all right. All right, let's figure this out, man. So we're okay. So you're okay with not having Zenith in the top 5?
Yes.
Zenith has to be in 6 through 10.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
I think we both agree. Yep. Let's see. What else do we have here? So Firewall is getting pushed down from your list. So far, Firewall in Zenith. You know what?
Let's see what the cats are saying here too.
Okay. So keep an eye on your list and make sure you know which ones haven't been included yet, so you know which ones to fight for. So far, like let's see, Resident Evil 7, Zenith, Dreams, Saints and Sinners, Song in the Smoke. Where's Song in the Smoke for you? Song in the Smoke's number 10 for you and number 6 for me. Where'd you put Wanderer? You put Wanderer here.
Number 8.
Yeah, man, this is tough because I do think that all 3 of those belong in this bracket. Wanderer, Song in the Smoke, and... Oh, man, that sucks. Wow. Yeah, man, where's Skyrim on your list?
12.
Okay.
Yeah. Still had to keep it up there pretty high.
Yeah, Skyrim's one of those games that I always feel like belongs in the top 10 just because, I mean, it did something that no other game has done and still hasn't done. That game to me feels like a top 10 game all day, every day.
Which one?
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Right? It could certainly be more. It could certainly be more VRAF, right? But the fact that it does everything that it does and it does it so well, it's pretty incredible.
I'm just looking at what the cats are saying.
I gotta make sure that we don't leave any.
Both have Wanderer in top 10. Not enough room in the top 10. I agree. Inside.
There's really not enough room in the top 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with No Man's Sky for the 5th one because
Are we back in bracket 1 through 5?
Oh, are we in 6 through 10 right now?
Yeah, you already decided on No Man's Sky.
Okay. I was still trying to figure out whether I wanted No Man's Sky or Firewall there. Okay. So what do we have in this bracket so far?
Yeah, that is. So let me get all the ones from your 1 through 10 and my 1 through 10 that haven't made it yet.
Yeah. We both have Zenith. We both have. Do you have Wanderer? Yes, we both have Wanderer. We both have Song in the Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And then Firewall got pushed to this one.
Right. Oh, you've got Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood can drop. I'm going to be more focused on trying to get Rush of Blood in the top 25 than I am the top 10.
I
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Sky. All right, this isn't too bad. If I have this right, and again, double check me, make sure I'm not leaving any games behind. We have 3 slots for Skyrim, Wanderer, Hitman, Song in the Smoke, and Firewall. So we have to drop 2 into the next bracket.
Look here. Oh, Dream, because you had Dreams over here.
Yeah, Dreams and Zenith are both in 6 through 10 already, based on our conversations, and that leaves 3 slots for Skyrim, Wanderer, Hitman, Song in the Smoke, and Firewall.
For me, it would be Firewall, Song in the Smoke, and Wanderer. Those would be the 3 I would choose here.
Well, I will agree with you with Song in the Smoke and Wanderer. So let's get those in if we agree on those.
Didn't I make a deal to make Firewall push to this bracket?
No. You were choosing. You gave me Beat Saber, and then I gave you a slot to pick to get into the top 5. And you chose No Man's Sky of the 2.
You pulling some funny business here?
I'm not. You're just taking way too long, and so you're forgetting where we started. Yeah. I'm okay. I'm okay with letting Hitman slide because Hitman is number 10 for me. I don't mind having it slide into 11 through 15.
Hitman's making this list.
What's that?
Hitman is definitely making this list. Maybe not this bracket, but it's making the list.
Yeah.
I would put Wanderer and Song in the Smoke over Hitman. Yeah, God, that is crazy to say, but yeah, I would. Because they're built for VR. And Hitman is like, yeah, what?
Yeah, I mean, being built for VR isn't always going to win out for me, but they were done so well and so memorable in VR that Imzadi's yelling Firewall top 10. Miles Dyer's mad that Sharknado VR got knocked off the top 25. Everyone's yelling Hitman.
Can't drop Hitman. I mean, yeah, Hitman is pretty top notch.
Hitman's top notch, man.
Hitman versus.
But one of the reasons that and again, this isn't. I don't like the VR implementation of Hitman. I think it's great, and I'm so happy that I played it in VR, and I think it's awesome. But when it comes to fighting between these specific ones, the implementation, wow, inimitable, of Hitman in VR, I just felt like didn't nail it with the DualShock. It felt flimsy, and that was an issue. Like where Resident Evil 7 fucking killed the DualShock 4 support. Hitman didn't. They tried to implement motion controls, and it didn't work as well as it should have. Everyone is saying Hitman should be in top 10.
If everyone's saying Hitman should be top 10, let's see.
I mean, I'm not against it. Again, we say.
I think Firewall should be there, man. I think Firewall over Hitman.
I think Firewall's been in our top 10 for a very long time for a very good reason, and I don't know if I don't know if it needs to stay there. Like it was such an addiction for such a long time, It's tough because for anybody just jumping in right now who gets to experience that addiction for the first time, who gets to say, hey, I'm just jumping in the Firewall, and they're going to spend 300 hours in it. We've already been through those 300 hours or more, right? And so it's tough to kind of remove ourselves from where we are now and put ourselves in the shoes of somebody who's just getting into it for the first time, which is, I guess, sort of where we need to be putting ourselves. I think it's only fair. because like, oh, we played this game too much, or we've kind of exhausted it or something. Maybe that's not the fair way to look at this. Here, let's real quick. I want to make sure we don't miss any of the tips. We got Looper, the Underground Gamecat, with €5. Says, now that Hitman Trilogy is available as a single package, there's no reason not to treat it as a contender. Well, it's always been. You still can't play Hitman 1 or 2 without Hitman 3. In other words, right? So you have to either buy the entire trilogy or buy Hitman 3 and then import them in there. That's a really good question. Should Hitman Trilogy be considered its own entry? That's 3 games.
I mean, when I say Hitman, I'm pretty much counting all 3, but I'm including all 3, but I still think Firewall is special, more special, slightly. I can see an argument for both, but I think Firewall is more special. And I think because, quite frankly, I could see Firewall being the number 1 PlayStation VR game, but I don't think I could say Hitman 3 is the number 1 PlayStation VR game. Even though, it's amazing.
I'm coming around. I'm coming around on this trilogy thing. I think the Hitman trilogy or Hitman 3 with counting Hitman 1 and 2 as DLC. There's no reason not to. It's available. It's a thing. Just because it's an expensive thing doesn't make it any less relevant on this list. Now that I'm thinking about it in that light, as a lot of the cats have been kind of pointing out, Jay Brink says Hitman has a lot of content. I'm sort of thinking that Hitman should be in the top 10. I mean, I had Hitman in the top 10 at number 10. So I guess that's not a huge stretch. But I'm thinking that maybe I'll fight for it a little higher in that bracket.
I think if Hitman 3 had the Move controllers, or we were talking about a Hitman 3 on PSVR 2 right now, I think it'd be a slightly different story. But I think you're not going to convince me that Hitman 3 should be over Firewall no matter what.
Really?
It's impossible. Yeah, absolutely impossible. Yeah, I think Firewall has sold more PSVRs than people played Hitman 3 in VR. Yep. I almost could. I bet you if I had the access to the data, I could prove it to you. I'm not a multiplayer shooter guy at all.
Yeah.
I'm not a multiplayer shooter guy at all, and I'm saying that.
I'm not either. I'm not either.
Like, this game converted me to a multiplayer competitive shooter guy.
Okay.
It's incredibly polished.
I feel like this could be a stalemate, right? And I'm kind of okay, to be honest with you, going either way. And I feel like the cats are here, man. Let the cats have a voice. There are 203 of them watching. Let's ask them which game belongs in the 6 through 10 bracket, Firewall or Hitman. Are you down? And we'll go with whatever their vote is. Because I can see it. I can really see it from either perspective, and I respect that. And I really respect that. We've got a big focus group here, and I think a lot of them have played both games. What do you think?
Sure. Let's leave it to the cats, because we can't argue either one.
All right. Which game belongs in 6 through 10? Firewall or Hitman? Ask the community. Let's see how this goes. See, let's check out the comments while we're doing this here. Man, a lot of people are saying firewall in the chat. Firewall, firewall, firewall. Cerebral process says AJ doesn't trust the cats. Dorothy the Balkan Cat says, but for firewall, you need the aim to enjoy the game properly. Yeah, as we said at the beginning of this, and as a rule I already broke, which I shouldn't have broken, we really do need to vote on these being played in the best possible way. If it looks really good on PS5, like No Man's Sky, awesome. If it plays best with the aim controller, awesome. Those are the ways we're going to be rating the game. It's like if you only have a DualShock 4, yeah, it's not going to be as much fun, but like. Yeah, Hitman is not VARAF. I totally missed who just said that. It would be, I think, with move controllers, but it's not. I think it's very awkward and clumsy with the DualShock, personally. But totally still worth playing. It's an amazing, amazing game. Alberto Mapam says Hitman alone or for the collection. Yeah, we've got to kind of count 1 and 2 as just expensive DLC. It really wouldn't be fair otherwise. Like, you're able to buy it. You're able to play it. So technically for the trilogy. Let's see how this vote is going here. Oh, wow. It is neck and neck, man. This is crazy. We've got 87 votes so far. 51%. Oh, no. Now it's even. It's half and half. Oh, man.
Gotta wait till it closes. I'm sorry. Somebody's been texting me. I'm getting distracted, but I'm getting it settled and it's almost done.
No worries, man. Just hanging out, having a good time. I should probably go pour myself another cup of coffee. Lou's review says "Song in the Smoke" is VRAF. I totally agree, man. I totally agree. That's why it's in 6 through 10 already. Stingray X says, as a newcomer to Firewall, they will not have as much fun as Hitman because the competition.
All right, heads back in the game. Let's see. I'm curious to see where this ends up. I'm curious to see where which one wins.
Guys, get your votes. Half of you still haven't voted, and it's a dead tie right now. Oop, Firewall just pulled ahead again. 51%. Right? This is crazy.
I actually have a feeling Firewall's going to win.
It's really close, but
I think it deserves to, because it is proving my point.
Did I miss a tip from Donnie? I'm sorry, man. Donatello says, with a $2 tip, can you play Hitman with moves or aim? Enough said. Oh. True. The best way to play it is somewhat flawed.
Defunct Bron Bros, he's conflicted. He's like, I voted Firewall, but come on, Hitman 3.
Et.2k9.now with the $5 tip says, personally, I can't play Firewall single player, so it's Hitman Trilogy all the way. Again, that's sort of like the MMO conversation we just had earlier. Firewall is definitely a multiplayer game, so I get it.
Man, Firewall's pulling away with it.
Yeah?
Yep.
53 to 47. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pour myself a cup of coffee, and when I come back, we're ending the vote wherever it is, okay? I'm going to come back in literally 30 seconds. So get your vote in right now.
It is so close.
Get your vote in. Hurry up. Coffee time.
51. Oh, my God, it's close. Super, super close. Jesus. What up, cats? How's everyone's day going, man? Exciting times. Welcome back to the Bloodbath, the top 25 debate for the best PSVR games out there. And again, if you don't see a game here, it doesn't mean it's a bad game. These are just the creme de la creme. Oh, great. Now it's at 50-50 again. Oh, let's see here. When you... Well, we have a problem, Brian.
No! So somebody's going to be a tiebreaker.
It was Firewall.
Whoa. Hitman just pulled ahead 52% to 48%. That was a huge jump.
Somebody hacking.
53 to 47. Dude, Hitman's pulling away with it. That's it. That was a tiebreaker. I came back and it was tied. And then the tiebreaker happened as soon as... Yep. 116 votes, man.
Okay.
We're calling it. Hitman wins. The cats have spoken. Cats have spoken.
I think, yep. All right. Well, Firewall stays in the next bracket, at least.
Firewall does stay in the next bracket. We're getting there, bud. We're getting there. We're making some good progress right now. Let's also figure out what songs. I just saw the game Song in the Smoke. I said, what songs belong in the next bracket?
Agent 47 came out and took out Firewall.
Okay, so let's see. We need to find homes for, let's see, 11 through 15.
I hope all of y'all played. Actually, Hitman did win Game of the Year in a lot of places.
Yeah. Dude, Hitman
maybe a little bit more.
Amazing game. Even if it's not, dude. And honestly, there's something wrong. I could probably name some major flaw with every single game on this list, right? And so at this point, it's like, well, which major flaw is worse than the other major flaw, right? We have to kind of go, well, which one is, and just kind of like look at the worst points about it and its best points and kind of whittle it down from then. If that makes any sense at all, probably not. Let's see. Wipeout doesn't have a home yet. Firewall, No Man's Sky does have a home, right? Yep. Okay. Farpoint, Red Matter. Okay. And now on your list. Wow. We have remarkably similar lists at this point, which is strange because eventually we won't. And actually, yeah, we do have Rush of Blood here that needs to find a home eventually. So just keep that in mind. We'll keep it on the list. So we have 4 slots, as far as I'm aware. So to fill out the rest of 11 through 15, along with Firewall, we have Moss, Skyrim, Red Matter, Farpoint, Rush of Blood, and Wipeout a Mega Collection. So we have 6 games for 4 slots.
Oof.
Cooper Al, the Gamecat, says midway through Red Matter. So good. It's so good. It's so good.
Ooh, this is tricky.
I think Skyrim needs to be here. It just does. Like you have it around, you have it there. I have it in number 7. You have it in 12. I think it just needs to be here.
Farpoint needs to be here.
I mean, Farpoint's in 14 for me. All right. Well, Skyrim and Farpoint, they both make the cut.
Okay.
That was a yes. Just making sure. I don't want you to think I'm pulling any sneaky tricks.
I like Atmos VR here.
I like Atmos VR all the time.
Me too. I hung out with him like all day yesterday. Super cool guy.
He is super cool.
Same with him and a lot of the cats. I'm meeting so many. Yeah, I'm meeting so many new cats. It's because of Zenith. He said Skyrim, Moss, Wipeout, Farpoint, and I totally agree with that. Of all these, I think Red Matter can go. Oh, Rush of Blood 2 is in there, but I think again, Rush of Blood can drop for me. It doesn't. It's more like it's a top 25 game. It doesn't really matter where it is, but it kind of just is a top 25 game to me.
Yeah. See, I look at Moss and I look at Rush of Blood, and in my head I go, time for honorable mentions.
Delirium Drew said, "I'm late, but I brought tacos." Well, because of you and your lateness, Delirium Drew, Firewall fell a bracket.
It's all Drew's fault.
It's all your
nonsense. Fault, that's what you get for showing up late, but at least you brought tacos.
That's true.
Right? You can be late all the time if you always have tacos. Listen, I think... I mean, to me, it's absolutely clear that Wipeout and Red Matter need to fill in these blanks here, these last 2. And
Wipeout, yes. Red, no. You're not going to tell me, no, not over Moss. Wipeout, we can agree on Wipeout.
We can agree on Wipeout. I like agreeing on things.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Moss versus Red Matter, look, I love Red Matter, but no chance in hell am I going to say that over Moss. No, sir. Not today, Brian. You are not screwing Moss over this time. No, sir. You want to leave it to a vote? Let it do a vote. Try me.
Okay. And whatever one
Fuck
doesn't,
around and find out.
and-
People say.
and whatever one doesn't make it, and whatever one doesn't make it,
No.
fine.
No. You've had your way with this list this entire time.
What?
I'm saying no.
What are you
No.
talking about? Listen, Moss isn't even on my list, and I'm trying.
Red Matter isn't on my list. So what?
Looper the Underground Game Cat with a €2 says Red Matter and Moss over Wipeout. Interesting.
No. Well, no. No.
Yeah, I mean we have to draw the line somewhere. I think that
Wipeout is a godsend.
Listen, wait, hold on a second. So well, let's take in this scenario, okay? Let's play make believe. Okay, listen. Pretend we put this vote out there for the cats, right? And we say Moss versus Red Matter.
Yeah, Red Matter will get fucking
say,
annihilated.
Just say that Red Matter wins. You don't want a guaranteed spot for Moss in the next bracket? Because that's what I'm putting out there. Is like, hey, like whichever one loses.
There is no guarantee, Brian. Just because a game just because a game made your list, it has to make. No, I'm already getting stuff that's pushed out. I'm probably going to get other stuff that's pushed out. No.
I think we're dude, at the bottom of this list, both of us are going to have a ton of shit pushed out.
Yeah.
Like we've both gotten most of our games in here so far because we had a pretty similar 15 through 1.
Well, we both had, right. We have a lot of the same games that we believe.
Right. And so neither one of us is getting screwed here. I mean, you seem like you're acting like you're getting screwed, but like.
Well, no, because you've kind of been slowly dictating some of these things and I have been getting screwed here.
Wait.
Firewall was top 5 for me. Farpoint is just now making it in.
Wait, we had a conversation about every single one of these things. Like, where were you? Texting?
Not being able to make decisions.
There's only 2 of us. There's only 2 of us making. It's all about like giving in and making deals and conceding and all that shit.
Right, and I've hardly made a deal here. I've just been saying, okay, Brian. Okay. It ends now. Moss is going in here. You're not pushing Moss off the list again. You are not. I won't let you get away with it. No.
Neon Groove says it perfectly. Moss will win a vote, but Red Matter is better.
Wrong. I'm sorry. I love you, Neon Groove.
I like this. Bob Zarkov, the Underground Gamecat, says if one game gets more than 75% of the votes, the other should be struck out. So, like, not on the list at all, huh? Interesting. Shades of Grey Matter says this hypothetical is silly. Moss will win. Moss will easily win.
I am mad about Firewall.
Stingray X just says I'd never heard of Red Matter until here. Listen, you go play Red Matter. Come back in 5 hours, and then we'll take the vote.
Yeah, you'll be able to beat it in 5 hours. And never.
The only reason Moss would win this is because people didn't play Red Matter.
That's not true.
It is so true.
I've played both.
Moss is a great game. Moss is a great game.
I've played both, so that's automatically wrong.
Moss is a great game, but it is not.
Red Matter is a great game.
Yeah,
it is definitely better than Red Matter. I don't. Well, they're kind of different though. I don't know. They're. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they're the most easiest one to. I don't think they're really an easy one to compare. But no, because look, we haven't. No. I would put Rush of Blood over Red Matter, easily.
Wow, really?
But not over Moss. Moss. Yeah.
Going around
this
that game.
For me, this is between Moss and Rush of Blood. For me.
This is between Moss and Rush of Blood.
No, I'm saying and my answer is Moss. Actually, maybe it would be Rush of Blood. Shit.
Bell Remy just joined. He says 20 euro says sorry I'm late. Didn't know you do a top 25, so I stayed in my number 1 game Zenith to get more legendary armor. Now I have 2 pieces with extra stamina. Let's go flying. Yay. That's awesome. But look where Zenith fell because of AJ. I had it at number 2, man. I got fucking screwed. I needed more assistance on that, I guess. I love this. Moss is a great Cerebral Frost. Moss is an okay game with great marketing.
Oh, get out of here.
That is my favorite comment of the day. Okay. Shade says, let's put it to a vote. Okay. And the other one doesn't get a guaranteed spot. Is that okay with you, AJ? We'll put it to a vote. The other one does not get a guaranteed spot. It's Moss versus Red Matter.
Right. Go ahead.
Should I throw a Rush of Blood in there too?
Let's not overcomplicate things. Because they only get one vote. No, don't throw a third one.
Okay. All right, so Red Matter, Moss. I'm totally ready to lose this, but I definitely would prefer to lose it to the cats making the decision for us.
We got to figure this one out first. I see all the love for Rush of Blood. Trust me, Rush of Blood. I'm gonna try is gonna make this list.
Dude, I didn't even have it on my list because I was being dumb and thinking I was so mad about it not working right on PS5. That was wrong. Right. As AJ said, we do this based on the best way to play it, the best platform to play it, the best controller to play it, blah blah blah. So, I am right now, like in 16 through 20. If you're okay with this, AJ, let's just put Rush of Blood in 16 through 20 now. Give it a spot because it belongs there. It's not on my list, but I think it belongs here.
We're voting for Moss versus Red Matter right now. That's what's happening.
So we're just going to sit here and not talk until then?
Yep.
Okay.
Sit here in silence.
All right. Yeah, Moss is absolutely killing it. Let's wait till it gets to 100 votes. And we'll just make sure that the tide doesn't turn suddenly. But Moss is absolutely killing it. There's no way it's going to lose.
And you said if 75%.
No. That was a fun. That was a fun suggestion by Bob Zorkop, but it doesn't make any sense. I'm still going to fight for Red Matter later in this list. Come on, 15 more votes. Looper the Underground Game Cat with the €5 says Red Matter is in top 5 best looking PSVR games, along with Wanderer, Hitman, RE7, and something else.
A lot of people are surprised Pistol Whip didn't. Yeah, I was too, and that's one that I definitely noticed that I was like,
yeah. So while we wait for the last 8 people to vote, let me tell you what happened. I made a top 25 list, right, with all the games that I thought should be on it. And then I came up with like 6 or 7 more titles. I was like, these need to be on the list. And so I looked at those titles individually and said, okay, Windlands 2. Is it better, and I start going up the list from the bottom and saying, well, this is where it belongs. And then the bottom one gets knocked out. And I take the next one on the list and I go, where does this belong? Boom. Then the bottom one gets knocked out. And so games that I, like, from the get-go, I was like, this needs to be on the list, got knocked out. And Pistol Whip was one of those games.
We were honestly expecting this to be a top 50 debate because we thought PSVR 2 was a little bit closer than but it is what it is. So all of these games that you guys are worried about, like, these will definitely make like these will definitely be making like the ultimate list. And again, just because it's not on here doesn't mean it's not a good game or anything. Like, these are all, there's more than 25 great games, but that's how we do this, like, curation process is like, and make sure we get the best of the best because we're limited in some ways. We have to make sacrifices as much as it hurts.
Oh, it so hurts.
I lose a piece of my soul.
Yeah. Okay, so FYI, 75% of the people with 100 votes voted for Moss, and so that makes 11 through 15. Now, you didn't want to let me give you Rush of Blood in 16 through 20 for some reason. Can we do that now or no?
Well, I don't want to do just any given just yet because I still don't know what I have that hasn't made. Let me see here.
All right, that's fair.
Let me assess the damage I've taken here so far. It looks like a lot of what I've.
What a fucking martyr! Brian's got everything he wanted, and I didn't get anything.
Yep.
Okay, let's see what games. Now from 20 backwards, let's see what games haven't made the list yet. So Puzzling Places for me, Squadrons, which wasn't even on your list, Blood and Truth, Super hot. Holy crap, this is going to be tough. This is when shit gets real fucking difficult because there's like 10 games we're fitting into 5 slots. Blair Witch. I spelled witch wrong.
I'm not gonna lie, even though it's not in order or anything, the list is looking pretty sexy so far.
Yeah, agreed. What's up, Tornado? Speaking of sexy, what's up, my feline friend?
Puzzling places can go.
Red Matter. Okay, now we gotta get let's get yours in here. From 20 up, Swordsman. Not gonna make the list.
Yes, it will.
Alec is out there. He's like, why not, Brian? Like, what? Beat Saber. The Persistence.
Beat Saber's already chosen. Yeah, the Persistence is still in there.
Let's see. Persistence, Blood and Truth, Moss. You've got more games. You have gotten more of your games on this list than I have. Just FYI. So I don't want to hear no moaning and groaning from you. All right. All right, so we have 16 through 20. None of them have been taken. Hopefully all you cats are doing good. Dan Kiefer says this list is dope AF. I agree. Hi. What games do you vote for? No moss for you, right? Screw that fucking mouse. Right. All right. Delirium says, oh, I like Swordsman as a demo anyway. Nothing against Swordsman, man. We've had a lot of fun with Swordsman. For me, it's like that belongs like along with Albo and a bunch of other great games. They just we've had to knock off.
Doesn't need your pity or your respect or whatever. Because guess what? It's killing it. It's up there with Beat Saber and Super Hot and Job Simulator.
Yeah, so Job Simulator and Surgeon Simulator and Drunken Bar Fight. No offense, man, because
those aren't on the list anymore. But
like legendary bestseller PSVR games. These are what we're talking about. Listen, and you're trying to praise a game because everybody likes it. I'm trying to say, listen, just because everyone likes it doesn't make it good.
I like it.
All right, no, that's fine.
I think it's good, I think it's good too. I think it has I think it has the best physics next to Saints and Sinners, which is why I will do what I have to.
Oh, bro, did the Persistence fall off my list?
What?
I just saw Dave the UK Gamecat say
puzzling places, but you don't have the Persistence.
Yeah, I mean, so again, like that must have been one of them that fell off the bottom when I here check this out. If I bring up my top 25, there it is. See number 21 here? It says number 21, the Persistence. So at one point, the Persistence in Static and Doom and Fract and all these games were here somewhere. And they kept getting knocked down and knocked down and knocked down. Just so you guys can kind of see some of the shit. Anyway. Yeah, trust me, if Persistence makes the list, I'm going to be very happy because I'm not happy that I knocked it off of my own. All right, so we got 16 through 20. We got 5 spaces for Red Matter, Rush of Blood. Can you see all these on your screen so you can kind of see what we're looking at? AJ? Yeah. Okay. Red Matter, Rush of Blood, Puzzling Places, Squadrons, Blood and Truth, Super Hot, Blair Witch, Swordsman, and Persistence. There are 9 titles for 5 slots.
Blair Witch can go. Puzzling Places can go. The Swordsman can drop. I'm not willing to get rid of it yet, but
you got cold yogurt with a $5 tip. Says these lists.
You got cold yogurt.
These lists is fracked, but seriously, PSVR Underground picked more PSVR exclusives. Yeah,
that wasn't like anything that was in the thought process. That was just I just went by what I thought were the best games.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of exclusives, but yeah,
I am too.
But it doesn't come into play when we make these lists. Okay, so let's see here. What games can we agree belong here? Blood and Truth, I think we can both agree on.
Yes.
Yeah. Super Hot.
I don't know if I'm ready to say that just yet.
Okay.
That might have to get.
Now, Squadrons wasn't on your list, but you conceded it was an oversight. Should we get it in here?
It was an oversight. So, I'm gonna say Let's see, how many spots we have left? 4?
4, yeah.
I'm gonna say, oh,
What's up, buddy? What's going on?
I'm gonna say the Persistence, Swordsman, Rush of Blood, and Squadrons.
Okay, I mean, I can agree with, Squadrons, no problem.
Okay. And the Persistence?
It fell off my list for a reason, not a good reason. Right? It's like I do love Persistence. I go to bat for that game every single time we do a top 25 list. Larry Chu with the $5 tip says, "You're number 1."
Choo, choo, choo.
He was talking to me.
Thank you for the Star Wars.
He just specify which one of us is number 2. No.
Puzzling Places was not an oversight by me. Sorry. That's not even close to my top 25 games. Not even close. Great game, which shows you how strong this list is. But not even close to this. No way.
Yeah, I could see Puzzling Places and Swordsman both leaving this list entirely. That's for sure. So give me the other ones that you so we got Squadrons in here, we got Blood and Truth in here.
Persistence.
I will go with the Persistence. I'm looking at this list, and the only one I like more than the Persistence possibly is Red Matter. Although I think Blair Witch is all these are great games. That's the problem.
Blair Witch is great, but it's too much of a walking sim for me.
Oh man,
I would do. So this is the thing: is that I technically would do Red Matter over Blair Witch, but again, I don't have any of my games that are in danger of falling off in the next thing as part of this. This is like 1 yours that I don't have, 2 yours that I don't have, 3. You have 3 of yours that I don't have. Did you have Super Hot?
Yeah.
You had Super Hot. We both had that.
Yeah.
And we both, and you didn't have, I guess you didn't have.
This is the
You
way
didn't have the Persistence, so maybe it's a little bit more split than I thought.
Yeah, it's very split.
But of the games, I know, look, of the games we're choosing,
this is
where
just the
problematic.
Format. This is the format we've done this in since
Right.
day one, and so
Right.
it's okay if you don't like it, or if you think that this is an issue that we're not including games from lower in your list. That's fine. Bring those into this conversation right now.
Yeah. So we need to bring in Catch and Release in Borderlands into this. No, you know what? Don't even bring, because maybe Borderlands, but let's see. Let me take a look at the. Looper has a donation, by the way.
Looper the Underground Gamecat with the €5 says, given that there's just 2 of you this time, does it make sense to give each of you 2 ride or die slots? Dude. Ride or dies, just to let you know how this all goes down, are always a little contentious. And sometimes
those are always the thing that makes the list seem stupid sometimes.
And now you know why it's contentious, because I always say, hey, let's make sure everyone's voice is heard. Dave had one, AJ had one, and I had one, and let's make sure that not one person gets totally snowed, at the end. And so I always think that ride or dies are the best way to end any top 25, to be like, hey, I'm pulling this in from the minors, and there's no way it was going to make this otherwise. But I firmly believe it should be here. And so I think ride or dies are great. But I think I was always in the minority as far as those were concerned. We'll see where we end up with this. I think we're going to need some ride or dies to make sure that both of us get represented on this by the end. I
So
think
let me go ahead and add. I want to keep Swordsman in this argument. I want to keep Rush of Blood in this argument, and Super Hot in this argument.
Yep.
And then I want to add Catch and Release into the mix.
Yeah, great game. And again, that was a game that always just held on to our top 25 list. It was always 25, 24, 25, 24, honorable mention 25. Like it was always fluctuating right there, is like right ready to fall out. And it is a great game. And what I kind of hate about the top 25 list is that it's kind of like all the games that are there are now really expected, right? Because they're the biggest budget games. They're the ones with the most polish. They're the ones with, that are the most solid. But ones that are a little bit more creative and inventive tend to fall off the list now. And so things like Catch and Release like start not having a home like they used to because there's too many of those really polished. Just
I would take because I'm looking at the rest of my list, and I have to figure out. I'm going to have to figure out what we're going to end up doing with Sniper Elite and Arashi. But of these, I will this is why I made that last minute swap, because of these, as much as I love Zing the Land Beyond, I could see it maybe going to like an honorable mention or dropping off or something. I've always fought for this game. So we'll see what happens.
The comments are just fucking perfect right now. Serial Killer says, "Isn't it really about the games and not your personal opinion? You guys had a chance. You guys had a chance for your personal list." Agreed. That's what we're doing.
Right. And I think Catch and Release is one of the best games.
Jeremy the NES Rookie says, "Please get rid of Catch and Release because of that Down by the Water song." Miles Dyer says,
to change the soundtrack.
Miles Dyer says, "But Bryan and AJ, is Catch and Release still going to be any good when things die down and there aren't any fish left?"
Miles, man.
Wow.
Nasty.
So funny, man. So funny. The cats are awesome. Keeping us entertained. Hopefully we're keeping you entertained too. I want to bring Golem into this from lower in my list. I think Golem is so polished and so much fun and just
so horribly designed control wise.
Yeah. Again,
you have to hold a DualShock and a Move controller. It's so dumb. It ruined the game. It really, really ruined the game.
Yeah, I mean, again, every single one of these games I think has a major flaw, and that's Golem's major flaw. Luckily, you're usually just walking forward. So yeah, as much as it sucks, it's not the end of it for me.
It's a shame they never patched that because it is a fantastic game.
Yeah, if you could just hold another Move controller and just
stupid thing,
do the fucking thing, it would have been
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, Peepo says the soundtrack for Golem is sexy. That was Peepo twice. I was like, oh, there's a lot of support for Golem. It's just Peepo.
What do you mean it's just Peepo?
I mean,
he disrespected you, Peepo. You still gonna support that?
No disrespect, but you need to rally up the troops, Peepo. We need more people with you. You need Peepo and the peeps. Peepo's peeps.
Okay, so we have 2 spots left here.
Yeah. So out of all of these, I'm trying to narrow it down to one.
Let me talk to my heart real quick. What does my heart say here out of all of these?
Yeah, Virtual Stranger says Golem is underrated, but you need to have the nav controller, which doesn't even work on PlayStation 5.
Doesn't matter. We're doing by the best version of the game.
Oh, I forgot. The best version of the game, so the controls aren't a problem. Perfect. I'm going to bat for Golem then. That's the one I think belongs in 16 through 20.
I disagree. I don't think it's better than like half of these. I think Red Matter's better than Golem.
I think so too. But you know.
I'll give you Red Matter if you give me Swordsman.
Can you?
Yep. That just happened. You can have your precious red matter, Brian.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't. This is the first time I've said no to you this entire time. I don't know if I'm willing to give you Swordsman.
Why? What do you have against Swordsman?
The same thing I've always got against Swordsman is that it's not a top 25 game.
Well, I disagree.
I mean, I think it's a lot of fun, but it's super shallow.
I don't think Puzzling Places is a top 40 game.
I thought we were talking about Swordsman.
Yeah, but you're saying, you're I don't know.
Swordsman to me is just super shallow. It's really fun. They got the physics down. I love that they keep adding content to it, but no matter what, it just feels very, very shallow.
On Platinum, says Jeremy the NES rookie.
Agreed. And one day I'll have it after I grind away for the last a couple XP or whatever the hell it is I need to collect.
I mean, I think, again, Swordsman pulls off physics-based combat. The only game that rivals Swordsman combat is fucking Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. They're usually the number one game. I mean, that stands for a lot, man. That game is super fun to run in and battle. I think Swordsman is a...
Swordsman does that one thing very well, and I don't think it does anything else very well. It's like, okay, here's a game that shows how good combat can be in VR, but it doesn't say. But you're like, okay, I fight some guys, they fall to the ground, more guys appear. You fight those guys, they fall down. It's like you're not using the environment, you're not using anything else other than it's a great sword fighting proof of concept. And I really enjoy it for what it is, but to me that it just doesn't belong on a top 25 list.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Are we taking a vote or something? What's happening? We shall see about it.
So of these, let's see here. Why didn't you include Borderlands 2?
Where is it? Did I miss it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, just in your top 25 list.
I mean, it didn't speak to me as well as it could have, I guess. I always felt like, it's fun, and I think it was really great for that time when we didn't have as much to play. It's sort of just been falling further and further and further. It's missed the last couple of top 25 lists entirely, from you and me, and I get it. It's a great game. So if anybody was like, oh, this needs to be on the top 25 list, I'd understand that. But
I think, let's see.
Yeah, the multiplayer was I think multiplayer would have made Borderlands 2 a top 10 game all day. That's very true. Bambino Ramos. Very good point. It was definitely, and I think that's the thing that was missing from it for me. Even though that doesn't, Borderlands feels like this game that just
I'll tell you what, the reason I even included Borderlands at all is because the fucking DLC is so good. The DLC, all the DLC in that game is better than the base game itself. But it is that good. So it's kind of unfortunate, but man, that DLC is incredible. And Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep was 10 plus hours something.
I mean,
man, it was good.
I mean, the fact is we're looking at.
I'm not a looter shooter guy either, so I try to think about the people that are, as well.
Yeah, no, and again, that's part of all of this, right? And like, maybe that's why it didn't quite make my list. It felt like there was something missing, like from the original game, and obviously that's the multiplayer. Obviously, is this game designed to be played in co-op multiplayer, and so but yeah, I mean, like there's a shitload of content there, and it's got great aim support. The move support's great. I mean, I think it's awesome. And I think when we're talking about like a game that belongs in 16 through 20, if you bring up something like Swordsman, I go, I don't know about that, but I look at Borderlands and go, absolutely, that certainly has a spot on here. That's a full featured fucking game, man. That like actually does a ton of shit. It has a ton of content. It's more than just fighting.
But anyways, quality over quantity. So let's get back to it real quick. Oh man, okay. So this is a really really tricky spot right now. You won't take Red Matter and Swordsman. Because those are the two I like the most for this spot.
Well, I mean, if you like Red Matter the most, then I definitely think Red Matter should make it there because
No,
we both agree on that.
I like this combo. That's what I'm saying. I like this combo.
Yeah.
But I can see, honestly, okay, if I'm being honest here, I think Rush of Blood and Super Hot.
What? Rush of Blood and Super Hot.
I think they might be better than both.
I mean,
Or I think I don't know. I actually think I like Swordsman more than Super Hot, but you're making this difficult, so we got to go somewhere.
You like Swordsman more than Super Hot?
I like Swordsman a lot more than Super Hot, and I like Super Hot. I think Swordsman's a better game. Well, no, I don't know. It's really close. Yeah, I do personally like Swordsman a lot more than Super Hot. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not really the biggest fan of Super Hot. I think it's a great game. It's just I don't know. Its campaign is a little. I don't know. I don't know what it is about it.
Cooper Aldi Gamecat says, "Is this what happened the last time they did a top 25?" No, the last time we invited Shughead in, and that was a disaster. So that's why we don't have a third person with us today. Jeremy the NES rookie with the New Zealand $2 says, "Agree on 24 and poll for 25."
Agree on 24 and poll for 25. I mean, look, man, I'm trying to work with you here. You're not giving me anything to work with here. I said Red Matter and Swordsman. You said no. I'm saying Rush of Blood and Super Hot. You're undecided. Give me something here, man.
Yeah, you just came out of nowhere with Rush of Blood and Super Hot.
You don't agree with any of these?
I didn't say anything. You came out of nowhere with Rush of Blood and Super Hot. So I thought you were like Red Matter and Swordsman
are
the two that belong
here. Forward here.
That's
I'm
fine,
trying
man.
to move us forward here with something that makes sense, something that won't haunt my dreams at night.
All right. Rush of Blood and Super Hot. Moving on.
But you like that though. That's not me getting my way.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's the best answer for this. No.
Really?
Yeah.
So what are your two? Give me what's your pitch? Pitch me two. Have you even done that yet? Because I don't think you've said anything except just disagree with what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Red Matter and Golem, just absolutely two big adventures, super polished, great narrative in both.
Those are both your games that I didn't have. You're not compromising here. These are both games you picked that I didn't even have on my top 25 list. We have to work together here.
I mean, I'm choosing from the list that we've created here, and so yeah, and I mean, I apologize that the ones I picked are better than the ones you picked. My bad, right?
I just said
but
I don't even like Super Hot as much as Swordsman, but I'm willing to do this because I know it's a really, really good game and I still really enjoy it and I think it's deserving. But you're not working with me here at all.
Fine. Wait, which one of Rush of Blood or Super Hot is one of yours?
Which one of what?
Which one of those are yours? You have Super Hot on your list, right?
I have both of those on my list.
Okay.
Right.
And let's just take them then and move on.
Oh, so you added Rush of Blood. Okay, but you agreed with me and said that was an oversight on your part. So, okay, but that's fine.
Rush of Blood was an oversight on my part because of the PlayStation 5 issue. And so let's just go with that, and we can move along because honestly, 21 through 25 is going to be a fucking nightmare. And so if we just need to move along, then we need to move along. I can't even.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't try some risky shit and bring like Five Nights at Freddy's into this.
Dude, I think you would have had way better luck with Five Nights than fucking Swordsman.
Vuko, that's the only thing you agree on. I think I have no problem with Super Hot being in the 16 through 20. It's a timeless classic, man. Super Hot is great.
Yeah.
And anybody can jump in and play it. It's super easy to play. It's a great game. It has a really unique original mechanic.
I agree.
I love it. It looks beautiful on any platform, like no matter what you play it on. It's great.
Yep. And that's why I'm fine. Like that's why we just got to fucking throw those in and be like, all right, we'll get the order for them later. And right now, we've got a ton of games to decide on for the rest of these here. So,
oh boy,
yep, this is gonna be a second here. Donatello signed his GameCat with $2 tip says this is when shit gets real. It's like the real world. Stop being polite. Start getting real.
Here, do you have catch and release on yours? No.
Nope.
Of the ones that we have listed, oh my god. Oh man, of the ones we have listed currently that didn't make it into the last one, I like Catch and Release and Red Matter. That being said, do I like these more than some of these other games? Oof. Yeah, you need to add the rest of these. Add these fucking like 15 games to get in these last 5 spots.
Yeah, it's crazy. Make sure we're not leaving any out here. Pausing places.
Is yours Pinball FX or Star Wars? Oh no, yours is Pinball FX VR2. What up? You got cold yogurt? I was playing with. I met him recently too. So much fun, man.
Nice. Yeah, playing with the cats has been amazing, and Zenith.
Oh my God.
Very sup. Getting to play with so many people at the same time has been great because so frequently it's like, I had to play After the Ball for review the last day, and it's like I get to play with like 3 other people at once, and I was like, this feels so limited all of a sudden. Jeremy the NES rookie with New Zealand $2 tip says, ignore the previous chat, didn't know we were only in 20s. Oh, right. Yeah, that makes a little more sense now. Good Talk HQ says, great list, fellas. Whew. Hopefully. Lou's review says Red Matter is a given. Thank you very much for that. Cooper Al says, why is Catch and Release so good?
Because it's immersive AF, and it's a great fishing game. And it's super relaxing.
It is.
It can be stressful. It's also challenging, which I really like.
Cerebral Frost says, at this point, it might be easier to start choosing which games to eliminate instead of trying to get them on the list. That's very interesting. Let's see if this is accurate. AJ, please check your list. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. But for 5 slots, we have Red Matter, Puzzling Places, Blair Witch, Catch and Release, Golem, Zing, Arashi, Sniper Elite VR, Borderlands 2, Swordsman, Until You Fall, Demo, Windlands 2, Pinball FX 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 9 of these are not going to make the cut. I kind of like Cerebral Frost idea,
Don't trust Dan.
and just start knocking things out. Like I think so. I mean, so how many of these are yours and how many of them are mine? I think if we take turns
I'm
and eliminate games from our own lists.
eliminate games from our own list.
Yeah, because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. You've got 5. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6 or 7. Shit.
You got way more because you've been cheating.
As the cats know, because they've been paying attention to the conversation, I haven't cheated at all.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm. Neon Groove says eliminate puzzling places, demo, pinball, swordsman, catch and release.
No.
I'm
sorry, Neon Groove. We have vastly different opinions. I actually liked Lou's reviews. I think he was
Drop
Lou's
Puzzling
reviews said
Places,
Drop Puzzling
Blair
Places,
Witch.
Blair Witch, Zing, Arashi, and Demo. I like that. I hope I would. If so, though, I would want Arashi to be in an honorable mention at least, and maybe Blair Witch.
Blair Witch doesn't need to be an honorable mention, my friend, because it's making it in. We got. I'm going to ditch Puzzling Places. I'm also going to ditch.
You're doing that for your own good.
I'm also going to ditch. I know. Here comes AJ trying to cheat. Be like, well, you didn't do anything for me at all the whole time.
No, you didn't. I mean, won't work with me.
It feels like so few of these are mine. I'm going to eliminate Demo, even though it is. I mean, I think just really fucking great. But Marcus Orr makes a good point. He says Demo's an honorable mention, not quite general public top 25. Yeah, I guess when we try and make something for everybody, Demo goes off the list.
Yeah. I couldn't even finish it. I tried. It's good.
I got nothing for you, my friend. If you didn't finish Demo, I got nothing for you.
I got really far.
All right. Let's see what we can agree on.
I made all my sacrifices before I made the list.
Dude, I made so many fucking sacrifices. It wasn't even funny.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that Doom isn't on this list, Doom 3.
Yeah. I don't have synth riders.
Dude, I sacrificed fucking the persistence because I was just like, because I sacrificed so many things. They got chopped out even though I didn't want it to, or maybe I didn't even realize it happened. So, all right, a little more concise here. Okay.
So it's easier to say what I like that I have left. Let me look at the chat too.
Jeremy the NES rookie says, any love for Ghost Giant? So much love for Ghost Giant. And when it was new, it was like so, perfect. And just I was like, everyone needs to play this. And it was on our top 25
Ghost Giant's
list.
great.
Yep. And then it just it fell off, man, like along with hundreds of other games. Until You Fall is so addicting. I just realized I'm only reading Jeremy the NES rookie's comments. What's that about?
My sci-fi game, Cat Henry.
Thanks, Shades. Shades like, you got Golem on twice, Brian. Good try. I was like, what? Hold on. I was trying to consolidate the list. I didn't do a good job. I can't spell. All right. So let's see here. Of these, we only have 5 spots left. I really think that it's tough because Red Matter and Blair Witch to me are both so like these great adventures, and when I think of them, I kind of think of them in the same light, that they're like really polished and like just really, really well done.
One's a sci-fi, one's a horror.
Yeah, totally.
But
It's
I think Red Matter's better than Blair Witch, personally.
it's a tough call, but honestly, yeah. I mean, I love Blair Witch, and I think it belongs on the top 25 list. But we're making hard cuts right now, and Jamie is going to be mad at me. But because we have to make hard cuts, I'm just.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Alejandre says I need to take 2 off. Is that right? Do I need to cut 2? Have you?
I don't know,
'cause
man.
you've cut some, or-
I'm chopping away at mine. I've gotten rid of 3 now.
So let me start getting rid of some. Dang, it's gonna hurt. Okay, get rid of Zing. Ouch.
Yeah, that really hurts. I would have gotten rid of. I probably would have gotten rid of a few others before saying.
Yep.
Bell Ramy of the Game Cat with the €2 says, "Where are all the good games like Night of Queen?" I had fun with Night of Queen. If there was a top 300 list, it still probably wouldn't make it.
Get rid of Zing. Let me wait to be able to see it again. I'm
gonna get rid of pinball. I fucking love pinball. I think there's a lot of pinball fans out there. But again, top 25 for the masses means, yeah. Just trying to be as honest with myself as I possibly can. I kind of wish the Until You Fall content update was already out, because I feel like that would give it, there'd be a lot more support in the chat and a lot more support. Like if we put it up to a vote, I think if Until You Fall had more content, it would easily make this list. Yeah, we got to whittle this away. So Donatello said,
Bambino Ramos has no idea how Swordsman is there. Again,
no idea.
I think Swordsman has incredible gameplay and incredible combat, and it is some of the most, if not the most, satisfying combat of any game. And I find it extremely fun, and I love messing around with the things. I've said it before, it's kind of like my Gorn. What everybody likes about Gorn, I like about Swordsman, because it has great physics. In the way I play it. I don't know if you guys mess with the settings like I do, like turning on armor physics and stuff. I know some people were like, didn't really like it or didn't get it, and then they went and turned on armor physics, and they're like, oh yeah, like this does feel real, like this feels really good. And I'm a gameplay guy, so I love the gameplay, I love the combat, I love the way it feels, and I'm a big fan of that. I really have an absolute blast. I mean, every time I jump back into it. So just if you're curious as why I haven't given up, why I'm still fighting for Swordsman some. I care about like Swordsman and Catch and Release and Arashi. I know I tried to give some love to Borderlands 2 this time. And I really, really tried. But I think if I had to cut another one, that's going to be the first one to go. So I will get rid of Borderlands 2
Wow.
for now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I like the DLC, and the DLC is like phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, DLC is part of it. The fact is like, I know Borderlands 2, I think probably belongs on this list somewhere. I played the game at launch.
Jamie, I don't give a shit about what image where our list portrays here. I care about what I believe are the best games for whatever reason. Fuck whatever. If somebody wants to judge the image, I don't give a shit.
I must have missed the comment because I don't even know what you're responding to.
He says, I love Swordsman, but it would be a really bad image for PSVR if a tech demo like that. It's not a tech demo. It's an arena combat game.
Yeah. What were we talking about before this? Oh yeah, Borderlands 2. Yeah, I mean, I'll chop it off because it wasn't on my list, and I like I said, I think it belongs on this top 25 list somewhere.
Sucks.
But I didn't have it on my list. I played it at launch. I played through all the content at launch, and it was it was really good. I didn't go back to it for the DLC, so basically I have to trust you guys out there and in AJ, who has played all the DLC when it comes to its inclusion on this list. So that's
dang. Now, Virtual Strangers does say Arashi over Swordsman.
Oh,
100%. And then that's where I'm like, oh shit.
Arashi has bad combat. No offense to Endeavor 1 out there, but man, I don't like the combat in Arashi.
Sword fighting is not very good.
Right. If somehow Arashi had swordsman,
they're like the
fighting,
opposites. Yeah. It'd be a top 10 game. If Arashi had swordsman's combat, it'd be a top 10 game for me.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, but you know, even though I'm not a fan of Arashi's combat, it's very, very simple. It's like parry, strike, parry, strike. And so yeah, but even still, it feels more like a full-fledged game. There's a lot more to do, a lot more storytelling, bosses. I mean, the whole thing. So it's just, and again, that's my speed. That's just the kind of thing that I like. I'm never going to go to bat for a Gorn style battle arena game on a top 25 ever. That's just me. So you know, that's where I'm coming from for sure. All right, what do we have left on this list? We need to get rid of 3 more games in order to have a bracket here. What, you don't have Windlands 2 on your list, right?
No.
Man, I don't. Windlands 2 is. I just had so much fun with that in multiplayer. It's so good. I love the locomotion in that, like fighting the bosses, like being in midair and just boom, 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 arrow after arrow after arrow, and then looking for a place to grapple to catch myself before I hit the very bottom of the stage. I mean, I just felt like doing that balancing act was so much fun.
Some of the sacrifices we've had to make, I'm like, I don't know if I'm okay with those sacrifices in Windlands 2 staying. Of these, I'll tell you, I like Red Matter, Catch and Release, and Swordsman the most.
Wow.
Just where I'm at right now.
Yeah, let me see. I mean, above Swordsman, you know, even on your list, I would put Arashi above Swordsman. I'd put Sniper Elite VR above Swordsman. I'd probably put Catch and Release above Swordsman.
I do love Arashi.
Dead Ringer with the $2 tip. AJ's angry at J Meow. Hashtag Gamescast Live Friday. LOL.
I mean, yell at you, Jay. I'm sorry.
By the way, I put a poll out. 60 votes. Does Swordsman need to get chopped? 2/3.
Versus what?
Doesn't he just need to get chopped when we're eliminating things off the list? It wasn't a versus thing. It was just a random poll.
And J Meow knows I love him. I'm gonna close this poll. I don't want to see this crap. J Meow says I'm more mad at AJ.
Two-thirds of the viewers. What's up, cats? Says that Swordsman needs.
See, there you go, cheating again, putting my game out in the thing, saying, "Well, does it need to get chopped?"
Which game of mine would you like to put up on the chopping block?
I don't know. I'm not trying to cheat. So,
dude, the cats are here. Let them talk, man. Talk. Here, I'm going to ask about Golem because Golem is honestly.
Are we missing any games here?
For me, Golem is going to be one of the hardest ones for me to chop. So I'm going to ask them if Golem should be chopped because if everybody says fuck Golem, then I'll be like, all right, I'm wrong about that, and so let's hear.
You should do Golem and then you should do Windlands 2.
See, I love Windlands 2, but I can more easily part with Windlands 2 from this top 25 list. I can do that on my own. I need the cats to tell me if I'm wrong about Golem, right? Should we get rid of it on the list? Right. This is part of the fun here. Endeavor 1 says Haru is growling. Man. So it's always fun to talk shit about games when the people who made them are here, isn't it?
I just assume they're all watching.
I just have to assume none of them are watching. Just that way I just fucking talk about Quill sucking tiny little mouse sticks.
5 spots left. So if I had to choose five, okay, look, I'll lean into what the cats say here a little bit. Swordsman's already destroying every single one of these games on this entire top 25 list in sales, anyways. It doesn't need our help necessarily. So if I were to humor the cats here, then I would say my favorites are Red Matter, Catch and Release, Arashi, Sniper Elite.
Okay, so all your games except for Red Matter. Okay, I'm listening.
Well, I'm trying to figure out which one of these of yours I like more.
Oh man, the votes are coming in big time for Golem. Saying the cats are saying almost 2/3, almost the same number of people that said we should chop Swordsman. Although I saw MRI commented, I'm just he said I'm going to admit that I'm voting yes no matter what game you put up.
Yes. Okay. So this is where I'm at then. You taking in, because I do listen to you guys and I do value your opinions and I know I do want everybody to be happy here. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Red Matter. These are what stay. These are what make it in. Red Matter, Catch and Release, Until You Fall, Arashi, and Sniper Elite VR.
Well,
those are the ones that
I'm definitely ditching Golem because of that vote that we just took. So I'm sad to see it go, but we have to see it go because the cats just said 2/3 of them were like get rid of it. 2/3 and MRI, who was just voting yes no matter what.
Dave, since Dave's in the chat, Dave, which five of these do you like the most, Dave? I want to see what he says. Which pick five from these. So what do you? I will cave and get rid of Swordsman because that's the only way we're gonna get somewhere.
Now we just need to get rid of one more, and
I think it should be Windlands 2. I don't think it is. I would put To the Top over Windlands 2. There's so many games I think that are more deserving.
Stupid Donkey said put Swordsman up for a vote. We did. 2/3 of you said to chop it. Where were you?
We'll chop it. We'll chop it because it got voted.
So okay. This is interesting, right? We only need to get rid of one more. And honestly,
you are not going to put Windlands 2 over Until You Fall. No way.
No, Until You Fall was high on my list. 23 on my list. Where was it on your list?
Wasn't on my list.
What?
Yeah.
Insanity.
When I was when I was finally ready to get back in Until You Fall, my toe was broken, so I couldn't play it. When I was I was basically
2 years after the game came out, your toe broke, and we were like, I can't finish it. What? Sorry. Steve Iyer, he says, Catch and Release is literally the only fishing game there. It has to stay.
Not the only fishing.
I don't think that's how this works. That's why puzzling games. Places in pinball should still be there. It's the only jigsaw and pinball games on the list. God damn it. Did we ever see Zenith at 2 is a bit high. What, dude? How early in the video is he?
Definitely So what are you thinking here? We only need to get rid of one more?
We only need to get rid of one more. And I like Windlands 2 better than Catch and Release.
What? No way. Windlands 2 isn't polished enough, man. I like the game, but it's not polished enough.
I mean, Catch and Release has its share of issues too, man.
All these other games are at least really polished.
I don't know about that. When I think about polish, I don't think about Arashi or Sniper Elite VR. I don't. Polish is not words that come to mind for these. Red Matter, very polished. Until You Fall, very polished. But the other four on this, I don't think they're terribly polished.
Maybe polish isn't what we compare these with. You're right.
I mean, I think the multiplayer is a lot of fun in Windlands. I don't know how much I'd want to play that by myself, but again, it's kind of designed with multiplayer in mind. I think it's so much more fun that way. Um, I'm trying to come up with like negatives for Windlands. Super tough. I saw some people in the chat saying it's really difficult. Um,
Eliminate sniper VR, says LAMB.
can we come up with can we come up with
Dave Station
three?
says catch and release needs to say.
Can we come
He
up with
gets it, man.
Can we come up with a list of 3 that need, or 4 even, that needs to be put on the chopping block, and we can say put it up to the cats? Which one of these needs to get eliminated?
You want to just pull what? 3 of them?
But I say 4 even, because I think which ones are you 100% on? Actually, yeah. Are there any we can just put into the bracket that we both totally agree on? No question about it.
Red
Probably
matter
not.
and catch and release.
All right, I mean, it's one of each of ours, so let's go for it.
Okay.
And that leaves us with 3. Let's put the rest of these up. Red matter, catch and release. That leaves us with Until You Fall, Windlands, Arashi, and Sniper. And then let's put all 4 of them up on the chopping block and let the cats vote which one goes.
All right.
All right.
All right, cats. It's up to you. Let me get some water real quick.
All right. Looper says, with the €2, each pick one that should be ditched, and then we vote. Oh no, we've made people mad. Imzadi's mad. We don't want to make Imzadi mad. We've done something terribly, terribly wrong if we made Imzadi mad. All right, which one gets chopped? Let's get this right. I don't want to screw this up. Windlands 2, Arashi.
Make sure you make that clear. This is to vote which one goes. This is to get rid of.
Everybody listen. This one goes. Which one you pick does not make it on the top 20 list. Windlands, Arashi, Sniper. Wait, which one hasn't? Until You Fall. Okay, there it is. Until You Fall. Yeah, I'll just say eliminated.
Sorry, I had to get my water.
So there's no confusion.
Catch and release is really. Are people talking about catch and release? Have you played it? It's really good, man. It's VRAF.
Good night, Miles.
It's like super immersive and relaxing, and
Yeah.
and it's also challenging when you want it, like when you play it.
It's really, really good, right? But there are so many games that are really, really good that, and I feel like I say the same thing 1,000 times during every single one of these. Like, I think there are better games that I chopped off my list before Catch and Release even made it. Right? I think that Doom VFR.
Says, all right, we get it. We're voting for which one stays. Like,
This is crazy. I'm actually really surprised. We'll let this get to 100 votes. But we got 55 votes so far, and definitely Windlands 2 is in the lead in terms of getting chopped. Very interesting.
he says, but it's just fishing.
But it's
It's
just
really,
fishing.
really fun. It's really, really fun, man. Give
It
it a
is.
shot.
It really is. I'm happy that it's on the list, even though it wasn't on my list.
Pro bass fishing.
Yeah, man,
Catch and release. We don't have. I don't know. We don't have pro bass fishing.
We don't. We've got a few fishing games, but Catch and Release is really the only good one. I think early on there was another fishing game that I enjoyed, but it was super arcadey, and when we finally got Catch and Release, I was like, there's no real need for this to exist anymore. It's kind of funny looking back at things I enjoyed back in the day. things change. You know, you get better options, and VR evolves, and developers get better at making different genres. So, time to play says I prefer Final Fantasy fishing. So take no notice of my opinion.
I enjoyed aspects of that game. Some
Yeah.
of it's nice.
I liked aspects of it, but I don't think the fishing was the best part of it. All right, yeah. There's no way. There's no way anything can keep Windlands 2 from getting chopped at this point.
Okay.
So Windlands 2 goes off the list. You spoke, we listened, and that means Until You Fall, Arashi, and Sniper Elite VR make the list. All right.
Bam.
And now we actually have a final list. It just needs to be put in order now. You know, super duper easy.
Oh my God.
All right. I'm going to end this here. It's not letting me end the vote. One second. End poll. There it is. Okay. Okay. So now we don't need our list anymore. Yours and mine's, our original ones. So
Time to play says AJ, please do a tips and tricks video on catch and release. I cannot catch fish. I have one. It's out there, man. It's there. I think it's got like over 10,000 views or something. It's my early days.
all right, here we go. Let's get these lists up here.
I also have a Solus project tips video.
How topical. All right. Final list.
I might have to update they have updated catch and release quite a bit though, so maybe I'll do another one.
There you go. Since there's so much love for it in the chat. Let's figure this out. We start from the bottom, right? We start from 21 through 25. And we're
now
gonna
the fun part of putting everything in order.
Yep. Oops, what just happened? Don't mind me figuring shit out. Where's everything going? Oh, what just happened?
Yeah. We are in hour 3, by the way. This is Dan Kiefer. No, we're in hour 2, right?
All right. Let's try this again. Final list.
X Delirium X says, in a few years we'll need to do a PSVR 2 list. Damn right.
That's right.
I hope we can do a top 10 by launch.
That'd be so great.
Probably will. We probably will, right? Yeah. Why not?
Absolutely, dude. I did a PSVR top 10 list in the early days of Without Parole, and there were only 10 games. I think there was
just put them in order.
Resident Evil 7 demo made the list, and so did Battlefront X-Wing, the Rogue One mission from Battlefront 2. Okay. 21 through 25. Ready for this?
Yep, what's it between?
All right. So we got Sniper Elite VR, Arashi, Until You Fall, Catch and Release, and Red Matter.
So I have a picture here. And this picture is the voting order of which the cats voted to get rid of the games. And Windlands 2 was obviously voted off. But then if you look at the order of this, Until You Fall was the next voted, Sniper Elite, and then Arashi. So want to make things easy? I would say 25 is...
It doesn't work that way at all. You're choosing
all
one
right.
game to get rid of. Everything else is irrelevant.
Well, I'm just saying that's what the Cats.
That doesn't work.
I
That doesn't
like
work
it too,
mathematically, unfortunately.
Okay. So I was gonna say 25 Until You Fall, 24 Sniper Elite, 23 Arashi, and then 22 Red Matter, Catch and Release, and Red Matter.
How'd you end on 22?
22 Catch and Release.
You just go into some random order?
Okay, no, I need the full list of games here. I was missing a couple games. That's my bad.
All right.
I was missing Catch and Release and Red
What's
Matter.
what's the best game in this bracket? 21 through 25. What's the best game?
The best game.
To me, it's no contest that Red Matter is the best game in this bracket.
I think maybe Sniper Elite.
You tell me. What's the best game in this bracket?
Sniper Elite or Arashi.
Also, you guys tell us in the chat, what's the best game in this bracket?
I was thinking. Need some.
Virtual Strangers says Red Matter is great. In short, does size matter? I mean, it's like a 4-hour game, man. Like, I mean,
It is a little too short for my liking. Because you said hands down, Red Matter's the best game, and I'm like, I've got like 20 something hours in Catch and Release, and I thought it was better. So
yeah, quality over quantity, as you said earlier. I am 100% okay with shorter games, but not getting enough is part of the decision making, right? You say, well, this is great, this is great, this is great, but one of the things I don't like about it is that it's really short. But you don't get to say, this game I have 500 hours in this game I have 10 hours.
Well, I don't. Yeah, but I mean, sometimes that can affect the depth of the game. Like, it takes it from being. It's like, then why wasn't Fract even mentioned? It's like that reason alone. It does matter when it affects the depth of the game. It does matter,
let me
I
tell you
feel
why.
like that does happen to Red Matter a little bit.
Let me tell you why Fract didn't make my list, and this maybe will clue you in as to what I'm thinking here. Fract does so much right, but even during the time that you play it, it feels like they're dragging shit out, right? It's like, so even though it's short, it would be one thing if it was just short and diverse from the entire time that you're playing. It's like, oh, here's something new. Here's new enemies. Here's new weapons. Blah 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 blah. But so many times they lock you in a room and go, time for another wave shooter. And it's like, so I fucking love that game, but like, it's a short game that doesn't do enough different stuff during its short-lived time. With Red Matter, I feel like you're going in there, you're scanning, like you scan everything looking for clues. It's VRAF, you're picking things up. Everything has like a weight to it when you're like trying to pull something like a fuse out of a fuse box. Like there's a tug, you're like, boom, and you feel it come out. And you grab something, you can feel how difficult it is to turn. Like it is VRAF from top to bottom, and it's got a great narrative. It's funny sometimes. It's spooky at other times. The environments are amazing. The locomotion is great. I mean, in my book, there's nothing wrong with Red Matter at all. And it's saying it's short.
I wasn't
it is.
Like I like the experience of it, but it didn't like have like a compelling story or anything. I mean, it was like interesting, but the story didn't like grab me. It was more of like the adventure of it. Like it was like a short adventure that I really liked. And
sure. So again, which one is the best one of this bracket for you? Because whatever you say, how about this? I will give you at number 21 if you give me Red Matter at 22. Whatever you say will be number 21.
Tricky. I like all these games.
Yeah, I'm with you, Virtual Strangers. Number 25 should be fishing.
Let me just ask my heart once again. What do I think is the
Looper the
best
Underground
one?
Gamecat with the €2 says, "Come on, AJ, you love games about astronauts."
I do kind of feel like Red Matter is the best one here.
Can we put it at number 21 then? Since we both agree then? Man, I'm about to order a pizza, and there's no way we're going to finish this before the pizza gets here.
Yeah, we need to start going here. So yeah. let's say Red Matter 21 is it does enough. It does enough to warrant that.
All right. Well,
I mean, he says I love games about astronauts. Yeah, I also love games about ninjas and World War II and fantasy and fishing.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, I was going to give you 21 for the best game, but you chose the game that I wanted. So what would be number 22? What's the best of the rest?
Oh man.
I love that you struggle even when you're just like when you just like have free reign of the list. You're like, I'm still struggling.
Yeah.
So just so everyone's aware, the struggle has nothing to do with me. I'm saying, AJ, you pick, and I will go along with it. And he's still like, I don't know, man. Somebody's fucking me over here.
It's hard, man. What would you say? What would you say is the next best game?
Until You Fall, but there's a reason for that. It's because it's the other game in this bracket that I picked, and there's a reason I picked it. So, it sounds selfish, but I didn't pick the other three games. So yeah. Unfortunately, Until You Fall for me is the next best. Dave Station VR with the $5 tip says pizza money. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Get caught up on your fucking PSVR games, dude, so we can have you be our third voice on one of these. Gotta stay up to date. It's the hardest thing about doing this. Gotta play everything all the time, and it sucks. Don't play the crappy games. We'll save you from playing the crappy games. Play the good ones.
Let's just leave it in this order.
Sorry. So that would be Catch and Release, Until You Fall, Arashi. I'm fine with that because again, I want Until You Fall to be the next one, and that would be pretty selfish. So I'm totally down.
The cat's okay with that. I keep seeing people say lock it in.
Yep, I'm totally down. That works for me.
All right, I took your advice there, cats.
And then Sniper Elite. I
hope you're okay with that because I took your advice. So
Ben L,
I saw more than one person. Okay.
Ben L, the Gamecat Army says with a $10 tip, alrighty, I'm headed back to Zenith. Thanks for another great list. I'll check out the final order tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have this up on the channel by like Monday-ish. As long as everything goes well. Enjoy Zenith, Ben L. Okay. So let's see. Now we're up to 16 through 20. 18, 19, 20. Okay. So now Super Hot, Rush of Blood, The Persistent, Squadrons, and Blood and Truth.
I need to write this down or see it written down or something.
Yeah. Super Hot, Rush of Blood, The Persistence, Squadrons, Blood and Truth.
All right. I feel like Blood and Truth has to be the top of this list.
I feel like Blood and Truth has to be the top of this list, and Squadrons has to be right below it.
What about The Persistence top of the list, then Blood and Truth, then Squadrons?
See, I like that from a personal standpoint. I don't know if I agree with that as like the actual best order. I feel like if we were making our personal favorite list, that would be great.
Well, I think the Persistence is the best game of these.
So the Persistence,
But the only one I'd argue is Blood and Truth. But I would put the Persistence number one. I believe the Persistence is the best of this group.
all right. Let me just before I 100% agree. Give me a second. Persistence, Squadrons, Blood and Truth. So the order would go the Persistence, Blood and Truth, Squadrons. And then we figure out. Okay. I'm okay with that.
Blood and Truth over Persistence. Okay, there's some heavy love for Squadrons, so
There's also heavy love for Persistence too.
yeah, for sure. Blood and Truth over the Persistence. It had these really boring cutscenes though.
Yeah,
Really boring.
I really didn't like the again, every single.
It's
I
like
think
2.5 hours of like good action. 2.5 hours.
I will say, you know what? Yeah, the Persistence. There's so much love for the Persistence, and I'm gonna when I said that from a personal standpoint, I think I would agree. Now I have to agree from an overarching standpoint because all the cats agree. Shadow Jack says, "Where's the love for Fisherman's Tale?" Great
Not
concept.
here.
great 90-minute puzzle game where the last 30 minutes kind of sucks.
It started strong and just kind of got worse
Yeah.
as it went on.
Wait, hold on a second. Looper says they don't, with the €2 says they don't see the final result column. Hold on a second. What the hell? What is that? Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. Oh, there it is. Sorry, guys. Thank you for letting me know. My bad. One of the lists disappeared and it took a minute to fix it. I didn't realize I didn't fix it for you, too. Okay. I just totally blanked. What are we doing? Okay, so the Persistence at number 16, I think everyone seems to agree. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the question is Squadrons or Blood and Truth next? Is that the real question?
If that's the case, yeah, then absolutely Blood and Truth.
Okay.
Easy for me.
I'm having a hard time disagreeing with any of this. And then Squadrons. Then the question is, which is better, Rush of Blood or Super Hot? And I think you and I both agree, Rush of Blood is better than Super Hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally, we agreed on something.
Whew. First time in like 15 hours.
2.5 hours, Brian.
72. It feels like a little more. All right, that brings us to...
this one. I honestly thought this was going to go a little bit faster.
Yep.
I was like, it's just going to be two of us. This will be a lot faster.
We can't blame Dave anymore.
Let me see.
Dave, it was not your fault. It was our fault. All right, 11 through 15. We got Firewall, Skyrim, Farpoint.
Hold on.
Okay.
Firewall, Skyrim, Farpoint.
Wipeout and Moss.
Oh, man.
Neon Groove says Squadrons is too high. Man, Squadrons is so good, though.
A lot of people would say Squadrons is too low.
Yeah.
And like, look, I'm not like the craziest. I'm not like super head over heels for that game, but people need their Star Wars fix, man. Let's see, and it's a really quality game.
Yeah. All right. So, which is the best of these? Firewall, Skyrim, Farpoint, Wipeout, and Moss. This is going to be tough because I know we're going to disagree on almost all of these. Like for me, Skyrim is the best one in this category. There's just no
Firewall.
question about it.
No question about it. Firewall is usually in our top 5. I don't know what the hell happened. It's ridiculous that it's this low. It's
Everything else
insulting. Happened. It's insulting. that it is this low. It's ridiculous.
Okay, that's fair.
But I'll take Skyrim next,
I will take Skyrim next.
even though it's not
Skyrim.
really my personal favorite, but that's not what we're trying to do here.
And then I know, I mean, Farpoint, Wipeout, and Moss are 3 phenomenal games. Which
I would
ones?
just in that order.
Yeah, that works for me. Absolutely.
Firewall, Skyrim, Farpoint, Wipeout, Moss.
Yep. That was super duper easy. There's no, it made perfect sense. Okay. Which brings us to 6 through 10. We're getting there, bud. We're getting there. Maybe I should order that pizza. All right. 6 through 10. Dreams, Zenith, Song in the Smoke, Wanderer, Hitman. Holy shit.
Okay, hold on.
I feel like we just got hit in the face with a bunch of good games.
What is it?
Sorry. Dreams, Zenith, Song in the Smoke, Wanderer, Hitman.
Holy shit.
Dream, Zenith, Song in the Smoke, Hitman, Wanderer.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay, so this is going to be really, really painful for me to say. Because from a personal standpoint, I like it as one of the best. But I do think that... Oh, man, I can't even say it out loud. I can't say it out loud. I take it back. I don't want to say it. I was about to put Song in the Smoke at number 10. But honestly...
I see Stingray X here saying Hitman, Dreams, Wanderer, Zenith, Song.
Yeah.
And I like the way that looks.
I wish I have a wish for each and every single one of these.
Yeah.
If each and every single one of these fulfilled that wish, then they'd all be pretty much perfect. And yeah. Salute for the Underground Gamecat with the €5. It says, don't forget, Song in the Smoke was a 10 out of 10 before the patch that made it an 11 out of 10. Your words, not mine. And those are my words, and that's why I have such a hard time being like, it belongs at number 10? How can a game that I fucking loved from top to bottom, how can I put that at number 10? When, like, you know, Wanderer just came out, and what I give it, 9.5. Zenith, 9.8. It's so true, man. Song in the Smoke is, it's like just putting myself back into
let me see
into my shoes, experiencing it for the first time. It was just so good. So good.
Let me experiment with something here.
Yeah.
Song in the Smoke. Wanderer, Zenith, Hitman, Dreams.
This is painful. I'm not gonna like any order this ends up in. I know.
Yeah, so far it's like I'm not.
Yeah. Let me. If we're experimenting.
I'm just experimenting.
If we're experimenting.
I'm just kind of throwing it at the wall until something sticks here.
Right. What does this look like when we put it in this order?
Right.
They're all so good. Why the hell is this? How is this not 1 through 5? these
Right.
The top, like all 10. This bracket and the next bracket are just so fucking
Lots
good.
of cats saying Dreams 10, or is it?
Oof. See, and that's, I'm not going to like anything at 10. I'm really not. I'm not going to like anything at 10. Looper with the €2 says, honestly, those 6 through 10 games are my personal top 5. Maybe should we just address both brackets at once and mix and match? No, there's a reason we do brackets.
I'm almost so I'm
trying to. Nothing really makes sense here.
what about Song in the Smoke, Wanderer, Zenith, Dreams, Hitman?
So Hitman at 10.
Yes.
I feel like I can only process one game at a time.
Just see, like, how does this look to everybody?
All right, so Hitman at 10. What's at 9?
Dreams.
It's also painful. Number 8.
Zenith.
7.
Wanderer.
Mm-hmm.
Song and Smoke.
Song.
I feel like that's the best combination I've seen so far. What I've messed with.
I'm kind of reversing what I said earlier. I think Song and Smoke does need to be at number 6, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Wander is
Game's incredible.
It's so good, but it's still got just enough issues. Just enough where I'm
Put Zenith over it?
Yeah, I mean, I just reviewed both of them in the last week, and Wanderer and Zenith got a higher score for me. I'm going to swap those. If that works for you.
Let me see how that works. Let me see how that looks.
Zenith, Wanderer.
I don't like Dreams being at 9. I don't know.
Well, everyone's saying Dreams should be. Oh, yeah. A lot of people are saying Dreams should be 10. Virtual Strangers, we didn't vote on Hitman. That was the public vote. If that was the case, then Iron Man would have been our game of the year over Saints and Sinners, and that's not what we went with. No. I mean, it was because it was voted publicly.
I mean, Iron Man was the game of the year before that over Saints and Sinners. So, and that's I wouldn't agree with that statement. So,
I think Wanderers. I like the order that I had it. I think I like Song in the Smoke, Wanderer, Zenith, Dreams, Hitman. I feel I like that.
How is Wanderer over Zenith? I think Wanderer is.
Because Wanderer is kind of, yes, it has flaws. So does Zenith, but and they could get patched. But I feel like Wanderer is what VR is kind of all about. Like when it comes to like PlayStation and storytelling, and I don't know. Like yeah, the gameplay is better, but the visuals of Wanderer, the brilliant design of it, like it has some loose ends that it needs to have tied up. And like I said, I feel like Zenith will eventually get higher, climb a little bit, but
for anyone, I think there's so many people in the chat talking about Dreams, saying you don't know what you're going to get. The content's all over the place. It's like, you can make shit in Dreams. how are we overlooking that? You can make VR games in Dreams,
right? Because again, I feel like there are tools you can make stuff, but like think of the situation you were in. It's not as easy, and like I don't think. Again, I think the support for the VR is not as good as it could have been. It's basically being held up by the community itself, but I don't think Media Molecule really implemented the support for VR as well as it could have done, which is why so many games end up being like DualShock games versus thing, and that's okay for like some, but there's like really, if they would have really nailed it, I think a lot of people would be able to make move controller games, and I think that's where they messed up. And they didn't, they never changed it for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, movement with the triggers, man. movement and I think turning too.
Professor Lowe says Dream's the most important game to VR long term, but it's not the most fun game in the list yet.
And they can't even get the curation right. Like I have to go in there and spend an ungodly amount of hours just to find the games I want to play. I think I'm not putting this I'm not putting this on the community behind it. I put it on Media Molecule a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
Why it slips a little bit. Dreams dropped hard on my list.
Yeah,
And
I think,
I don't like it either. But
to me, Dreams could be a number one game. Like, just
Well-
I mean, it's the things that we've seen people create are just absolutely staggering. And you don't judge Netflix based on all the shit that's on it. You go, holy shit, have you seen this awesome stuff on Netflix? Right? You don't go, have you seen this terrible show on Netflix? Man, Netflix sucks. You just don't play the crap. And there's so much good stuff.
the thing is, I don't know. I don't like puzzle games. I personally like Zenith more than Wanderer.
Yeah.
A lot. Like Zenith is my favorite game right now, but I really think Wanderer is something special, and I really think yes, it has its issues, but I feel like it also has it has tons of rewarding things about it, tons of quality and quantity.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
and-
I put both of these above Astrobot.
Yeah.
So
I think I have to go with Wanderer just right above it. I feel like that makes sense. And then we still got Song in the Smoke for us hardcore gamers, so we still get a win there. I feel like that's the way it needs to be. Song in the Smoke, Zenith. I'm sorry, Song in the Smoke, Wanderer, Zenith, Dreams, Hitman. Why don't
let's put out a couple polls. We need to figure some of this shit out.
maybe
Let's
put
figure
a
out
poll of
Zenith versus Wanderer, which should be
right.
which should be above the other, and
Which
maybe
should just
Dreams
decide that
versus
order.
Hitman. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
Can we run two polls at once? Is that a possibility? Let's see if we can create two polls at once.
Like dude, if this is the thing, if Wanderer didn't have these small so I wish Wanderer would change the button mapping a little bit to where the turn buttons are on the bottom buttons, and the grab and stuff are on, or whatever those other ones are on the top buttons. I wish it would flip that because that's something we've always had. If it did that, if it had a couple fail safes, a couple safeguards, and a couple just tiny little quality of life features, I'd straight up have it I'd have it basically fighting it with Saints and Sinners for the number one spot. I really think Wanderer is something special.
I think so too. I mean, I think we're in a place where we got two of the best games of the generation on the same day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right, Zenith and I can't. By the way, I can't run two polls at once. I didn't realize that.
And I do believe, like I said, I think Zenith is going to continue rising every single list that comes out after it gets more updates. And I know it's going to get those updates, and it's going to be carrying over into the PSVR 2 life cycle as well. And it's going to be even better.
Man, Wanderer is taking it.
The fact that I'm fighting for Wanderer and I don't even like it as much as Zenith should say something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. I think once people get through Wanderer, it's fucking mind blowing. It's possibly the best game on PSVR, and there's only a couple things standing in its way from becoming that.
I'm not gonna be mad. I really I don't know now. At this point, I don't know. The cats are definitely gonna have to decide this one. I'm gonna vote Zenith. Screw it. Oh, can't say I didn't try.
Yep. Hey. All right. Votes are slow to trickle in, and so I think I'm just gonna call it with 2/3 of the votes. Man, Wanderer is the better game. Okay. So.
Yeah.
And,
Zenith still making top 10 here. Nothing to be ashamed of. Top 10.
Yeah, I mean, did I put both these in my top 5? I don't know. I don't remember, but Okay,
Top
and then
10.
and then the question is Dreams
like,
versus
feels
Hitman, right? Let's just get this out of the way. Which is better?
Oh, Dreams is gonna get
Dreams.
Dreams gonna get clobbered here, but I don't think
It's gonna, and we're gonna go with whatever they say.
Okay.
Because I think Dreams belongs in the top 5, right? But we're gonna see how people
see what
vote, and we're
happens
just
here.
gonna go with it.
Let's see what happens here.
It's tough. I mean, you know, again, it sucks having to be like, oh, Hitman's not good because of this when it's like one of our favorite games of the last year. Well, you know, the last year, you know, whatever. We'll see how this pans out.
Distracted. The controls in Wanderer do not suck. There's just a slight adjustment I would make. No,
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
and plus, it's not like an action game, right? It's like the fact that it's like a point-and-click adventure game or a slow-paced escape room. It means that the buttons are up here instead of down there. It's like it would drive me up the wall if it was a high-paced, fast-paced action game where you're shooting constantly or whatever. But it's not. It's just not that kind of game. And so I can tolerate the controls, even the head movement. People are like, I can't play it because of the head movement. It's like it's again not a run and gunner. And I'm not like ever walking and pissed off that I can't turn my head and look that way. You know, it's a game that you want to stop every few seconds and take
Some
in.
of y'all have some weird ass arguments for some of these games.
Yeah.
Oh man.
With 65 votes, Dreams has a significant lead over Hitman. I'm actually surprised that the cats are voting this way.
I'm too.
But
It
I'm
seems
also
like
happy.
it seems like they're just voting the opposite of what I say. It's gonna happen.
Hey, you're the one whose list they like better to start. RG says Dreams is the gift that keeps on giving. I agree.
Yeah.
You don't have to play it every day. You don't have to play it every week. But every time you stop in, there's always something new to discover. Somebody made something awesome, or you can kind of have a project going in the background all the time. Be like, oh, I'm working on this game over the next year. I mean, never have such powerful tools been just given away for $20. Absolutely crazy. It's still pretty close, 56-44. Just want to make sure that it doesn't start swaying in the other direction. So I'm gonna let this go for just another minute or so, unless the gap gets wider. Yeah, I would have bet on Hitman here too, Dave. Shades of Grey Matter says, "Love the mind-blowing creativity and dreams." Scott Chestico says, "What's going on? Hitman for the win." Yeah, the gap's getting wider.
All right.
All right, that's it. So Dreams is better than Hitman according to the cats and the poll.
Don't say it like that.
What?
They're
I mean,
both awesome.
everybody knows what's going on. We love all of these games. Just getting these in a particular order has been difficult because we love them all pretty much equally. So I'll say it however I want to. I'm not concerned about my image, AJ. All right. So that brings us to holy motherfucking shit. 1 through 5. That's No Man's Sky, Beat Saber, Astro Bot, Saints and Sinners, Resident Evil 7. How the fuck do we have these amazing new games on the platform, right? Some of the best we've ever gotten, and we're still having the same old debate for 1 through 5.
A little bit different. I think you somehow got. I don't know if Beat Saber was in here last time or was it?
I gotta look at my original list. Yeah, I had Resident Evil 7 number 1, Zenith is number 2, Beat Saber at number 3, Dreams at number 4, Saints and Sinners at number 5. Crazy. Looper with another €2 says, easy, 5-1. Beat Saber, Astrobot, No Man's Sky, Saints and Sinners, Resident Evil 7. That's my vote too.
Beat Saber 5th.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's going 5-1.
Yeah.
All right, we can agree on Beat Saber being number 5, right?
Yep.
Okay. The question, I think, is going to be No Man's Sky or Astrobot at number 4.
That's not as easy. Ugh.
What do you think?
Where's my window here? I think this is a hard one.
JC, the inimitable dual wielding ass kicking Gamecat. Astrobot, I'm assuming he's going 5-1. Astrobot, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, Res 7, and then Saints and Sinners for the win.
A lot of cats are so many cats are saying No Man's Sky number 4.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine with me. To be honest with you, there's such radically different games. One is
Right.
One's procedurally generated, open universe, and that's like just full of exploration, and another one is like a super tight, polished platformer. I mean, you couldn't get two more radically different games to fight over the slot. So honestly, as far as I'm concerned, they're tied. So I don't even care which one goes where.
Yeah, let's do No Man's Sky 4, Astrobot number 3.
All right, that totally works.
Oh shit! Hold on, wait. There's some more. now everyone's coming in and saying No Man's Sky over Astro.
They'll get over it. They'll get over it unless you have a problem with it.
Well, it's not that I have a problem with it. I just don't know.
Shane Bissett with the
much I
$2
agree.
tip says Beat Saber is top 3, you lazy ding dongs. Saints and Sinners number 1. I love it. Dude, you got people in the chat that are telling us it shouldn't even be in the top 5. So, but appreciate the opinion.
Which one?
What?
Beat Saber?
Yeah. I think there are people who think that it's time for Beat Saber to retire. Move down the list a little bit. I think you were one of those people.
I don't know how that happened to Firewall and then Beat Saber like rose up. Crazy.
Hey man, you win some, you lose some, and I lost quite a bit on this, and you lost quite a bit on this.
You're gonna lose, all right. I'm just kidding, man.
Virtual
Here's the
strangers,
thing,
I
man.
100% agree. I'm not even gonna read it out loud. What's up? What's the thing?
I'm gonna have to say, Astro kind of wins here for me from a technicality in that it is pretty much flawless from start to finish.
Yeah. Again, either.
But I
either
do
one.
think No Man's Sky achieves way more, and I would like to say that when anyone talks about like the potentials of hybrids or whatever, I think No Man's Sky should be looked at quite a bit and be like, this is how you convert a non VR game into a VR game. I think they've done that better than anyone else, and for that is why it's made it into the top 5, and not only into the top 5, but at number 4.
Yeah, Astrobot's super polished. There's no reason a third-person platformer should be this much fun, this charming, this addictive. But it is, man. Like
I don't really like one. Yeah, I don't really think I like one over the other, but or anything like you said, they're drastically different. I do think No Man's Sky kind of achieves a little bit more, but so does Astro. So yeah, let's just dang, man. The amount of content, yeah. The amount of content and the way I just
I'm just letting you mull this one over because I'm good.
Oh man.
While you're thinking about it, I just want to get the opinions of the cats
Yeah.
when it comes to 1 and 2. So I'm just going to start that voting early. Again, just to get their opinions, because I want to know if I'm fighting a losing battle with anybody.
And yeah, Drew says just go alpha and call it.
Are you still trying to figure this out?
Yeah, because
I've
I
had
don't
nothing
think
to
I
do with
have
this
an
entire
answer.
conversation.
I don't think I have an answer here. So maybe I'll just leave it where it lies.
I
Leave it
think,
where it
yeah,
lies.
I think this is great. You know, I mean,
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Even if I like No Man's Sky potentially more, I don't even know if that's true. I'm starting to question my existence and if anything is real. And I don't know. Why did you vote for number one? Or did we move on already? I guess you did.
you just don't listen to me at all. I said, why? I said, I'm not even part of this conversation for 3 and 4. Like, I'm just, I said, I feel like they're evenly matched, and I was going to be happy with no matter which one goes where. And I think they're both deserving of the 3 and 4 slot. And there's such wildly different games that to me it doesn't matter which one gets 3 and which one gets 4. So
I'll leave it at this.
right.
It's fine. It's fine.
Donatello, the scientist Gamecat with the $5 tip says offer still stands from earlier today. I think he made a joke about bribing one of us for Resident Evil 7 to get the top spot. Says either way, I love you both. Thanks for a fantastic show today. You guys are the best. Moss back again. Small victories, right? Like, I don't think did Super Hot make our last list, or like there's a bunch of games that didn't make the last list that managed to get back on today. And so I'm really really happy with the progress we've made so far. It's been a long 3 hours. But
So for those who don't know, because Bryan didn't say anything, he has a poll. Maybe you did say something.
yeah, you just spaced for like 3 minutes straight.
I was saying it's hard, man. This is important.
So I've got a poll up right now. Just again, I'm just trying to get
This
your
isn't
opinions.
to decide.
I'm just trying to get your opinions because I want to know if I'm fighting a losing battle. Because you guys know that AJ's going to go for Saints and Sinners, and I'm going to go Resident Evil 7 when it comes to the number 1 slot. And we've had this debate 1,000 times over, and I'm willing to have it again. And I'm willing to sway any undecided people out there for you guys to vote. But honestly, I just want to kind of know where all the cats are at, because if the majority just says "fuck you, Bryan," Saints and Sinners is obviously way better, then I'm not going to fight quite as hard for Resident Evil 7, because because again, this is a list that we want to be universal, something that the community can kind of agree on. And I mean, obviously, there's no way we're going to be able to.
You got to
agree
give
on
this enough
everything.
time, though. You got to give this plenty of time.
Yeah. So, but again, I just want to know where everyone's head is at. I'm not saying the winner of this will be the winner. But I got to say,
Maybe you should have saved it for that.
no, because I think that as much as I respect all the cats out there, like again, we do need this is 1 and 2, and just FYI, where the hell was Saints and Sinners on my top number 5? Above, I had Zenith, Beat Saber, and Dreams above Saints and Sinners. Great game. But I think Resident Evil 7 is such a better game. And you can I will say right off the bat, you can point to Resident Evil 7 not being PSVR AF, right? Not being as immersive because it's a move support, and obviously all of the things that Saints and Sinners does really well in VR. But as far as the game goes, it's just a better game, Resident Evil 7, all around.
I think it has better. I think it has better. I don't think it has better gameplay. No, that's kind of important.
I think it has better gameplay.
When I look at like what VR is all about, what VR is meant to be, or what the future of VR is, I don't want the future of VR to be the way Resident Evil 7 was implemented.
That's
I want it to
certainly
be
not
like
what we're trying to imply by choosing number 1.
But I think that's what sets Saints and Sinners apart is that,
Right.
it's like I said, it is a benchmark VR title. It is what every developer should look at. It's like, look at what Wanderer did. Wanderer said they looked at Half-Life Alyx, they looked at Saints and Sinners, and Boneworks, and look what they achieved. And that's why I think that's like, to me, that's what makes sense. Like, that's what the future of VR is that implementation like that and those features and
Well, then Saints and Sinners should be number one.
I think so. That's why I put it there.
You put Saints and Sinners number one? I mean, did I say Saints? Oh my God! Sorry, I meant to make an argument.
You heard it. You heard it here.
This has gone on way too long. I meant to say then Song in the Smoke should be number one based on that argument, because if VR implementation is what will bring something to number one, and that's all that matters. I mean, then Song in the Smoke should absolutely be number one because it's got better VR implementation than Saints and Sinners does. But that's not all that we quantify when talking about the best game.
I disagree wholeheartedly. You said Song in the Smoke is better VR implementation than Saints and Sinners.
Yes.
I could not disagree more.
Are you sure?
No way. Yeah, dude, no. Song in the Smoke has like teleport jumping, and like, look, it has better crafting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Super
That's it.
VRAF crafting, yeah.
That is it. Other than that, like, that's the only thing it does better.
But it does so
Saints
much
and
better.
Sinners. Yeah, but crafting alone, I don't know.
But what I'm saying is, like, again, you can't just quantify the best game as the one having the best VR mechanics, right? Like why isn't Shadow Legend on this list then? Shadow Legend had great VRAF mechanics, like really fucking good. It was super VRAF.
But it wasn't a great. Wait, what?
Yeah, game, exactly. We have to also talk about the game. It can't just be about the great
Right,
VR
but
mechanics.
Saints and Sinners is also a badass game, though. That's the difference here.
It's also a badass
the
game.
Physics,
That's why it's at
the
number
physics
2.
of it, the physics,
Yeah,
the
VR.
interactions, the immersiveness
What
of the
interactions?
gameplay. What interactions?
Yeah.
Being able to pick up a bottle, flip it around in your hand, break it on a fucking anything, and then stab something in the head with it. What do you mean? What interactions? That's one example.
And it's a great example. That is again what makes this game VR as fuck, right? Because you're able to do these kind of things, right? But again, that's why. Shit! What the fuck was the name of the game I was just talking about? My brain is fried, man. That's why we don't do this for 3 hours anymore.
Yeah.
But that's why Shadow Legend like was able to do these really great VR AF mechanics. God damn it! I'm literally unable to speak now.
Like, I get what you're trying to say, but that's not a good comparison.
But
Because
it
that's
is,
like
though.
saying Saints and Sinners. That's like so you're saying like Saints and Sinners doesn't have anything else other than the interactions and the immersive gameplay.
It
You're
has.
saying it has nothing else other than that.
I'm not saying it has
'Cause
nothing
I
else.
disagree.
But when it comes to everything else, Resident Evil fucking trounces it. Like absolutely trounces it.
I love Resident Evil 7 because, like I said, it's one of those few games where it's so scary that people can't even play it, and I love that. But I don't think it's a better VR game though. I don't think.
I think for everything that Saints and Sinners does great from a VR perspective, Resident Evil 7 excels because of what the VR implementation does to you as a player playing that game. You are terrified to open a fucking door. Everything is way more scary because of the VR element. And so, yes, you don't have the VRAF aspect, but you do get head aiming, which is better than playing on the flat screen. And that alone is like a great
I think
upgrade.
head aiming is so dumb. Maybe it's not the worst.
I don't think
Hitman
head
3.
aiming. Hitman 3 proved that if you're going to use DualShock 4 support, that maybe you shouldn't fucking have motion controls.
Light bar track. Right.
Yeah, and so I think they did.
Yeah, but head aiming is not like immersive at all. And like I said,
no, okay.
it's I don't think head aiming is.
Yeah, for not having move support, I think they did a great job with the controls. I think it's super immersive. And again, I think the game is just better. The DLC is better. Looper the Underground Gamecat with the €2 says, AJ, have you played the Resident Evil 7 DLC yet, apart from 21?
Yes, 21 was the last one I played. End of Zoe is not very good.
Not very good. What?
I don't think it's very. It's a your punching game that uses the DualShock 4. It's just kind of lame. Like the combat the combat is kind of lame, man.
Wow.
It's not that great. 21 is great. I love 21, and I love that Nightmare mode.
Yeah, Nightmare. If Nightmare was its own game, it would make this list. If Nightmare was its own game,
you said that before. I don't think it would.
I would fight for it. That's for sure. Shane Bissett.
I don't think so. I'm just talking about the base game.
Why?
Not.
It's
because I don't even think that matters. I don't think that really. I don't think the DLC edges one or the other. I don't think so. No, I'm talking about just the game itself.
I mean, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about the entire experience. Shane Bissett with the $2 tip says, "Agree, AJ. Resident Evil 7 is a good game. Saints and Sinners is a better VR game."
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Saints and Sinners is good at what it does, but it is a game about scavenging and crafting, and it's and very much about a loop. Resident Evil 7 is a more of a full campaign where you actually see more diverse environments, like very diverse environments.
Justin Frank says the games aren't just about being the scariest.
That's right. That's why it's one of the many things we're discussing right now. One of the many things. The VR implementation is one of the things that we're talking about. How scary it is, which also doubles as how immersive it is. I mean, there's a million things we're discussing here, and that's just one of it. And you know, and graphically, man, I think it's still one of the best looking PSVR games, which again adds to the immersion. It's
again. When I look at the future, when I look at VR and why I like VR is because I like doing things you can only do in VR. You can do RE7 flat screen, and it'd still be plenty scary to people. It's still whatever.
Not scary at all.
It's more scary in VR. Yes.
It goes from being fine on the flat screen. I wouldn't say scary, to being one of the scariest things I've ever experienced in my entire life in VR. You Got Cold Yogurt with the $3 tip says one of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. No offense, you Got Cold Yogurt. I love you. Says Resident Evil 7 is scripted, plays like a game on rails. What game are we talking about? That doesn't describe Resident Evil 7 even remotely. Even fucking remotely. What game?
Resident Evil rail shooter confirmed.
What is going on? Chat voted Resident Evil 7 according to Jay Meow with the $2 tip, and you won't convince each other.
It's 50-50 right now. Actually, Saints and Sinners just pulled ahead. So Jay Meow,
I haven't looked at it. Yeah, Saints and Sinners are 51%. Only half of you have voted. So like you guys, if anybody is on my side or AJ's side, you can totally swing the tide of this vote.
Hey, that's a win-win for me.
Dave Station PR with a $2 tip says AJ must be removed. End of Zoe kicks ass. Yeah, I mean, it really is fucking great, and it's great that they tried something radically different with it, rather than just saying, here's the same character, here's reused environments. Saints and Sinners.
It is not that good.
Saints and Sinners DLC just reused environments. They plastered a bunch of shit onto things, made a terrible puzzle. And then rewarded you at the end by saying, "Hey, here's something really cool," which made the entire thing rewarding. But the DLC,
you're so desperate that you're trying to whip out the DLC to make this argument.
I mean,
when I actually think the Saints and Sinners DLC is better. No, maybe not completely.
Yeah, you're out of your fucking mind if you say that. I mean, like, Not a Hero alone is better than Saints and Sinners DLC. I think the DLC of Resident Evil 7.
I disagree.
When you combine it all, is better than Saints and Sinners.
I didn't really care for Not a Hero. I told you, I liked 21 and I liked the Nightmare mode. I thought the other ones were just okay.
3 hours each.
All right.
If I can, one of they try radically different things. Resident Evil 7 was a horror game with item management, Resident Evil, typical Resident Evil tropes. Not a Hero goes for like fucking action and then End of Zoe goes for like something just so radically different. Like literally, you're playing as somebody who's punching. You have a power glove. It's so ludicrous, but they just tried something different, and it actually really worked.
You know what feels better is actually swinging your hands and hitting things.
Not,
That feels
not
a
in
lot
Saints
better.
and Sinners. It doesn't. So
Yes, it does.
How much punching are
Swinging-
you doing in Saints and Sinners? That
Lots go. No, but it's not punching, but swinging like a weapon, like swinging a knife, swinging
Yeah.
a weapon, throwing a weapon.
The VR
like
elements
swinging a
are
baseball.
better. The VR implementation is
Like
better in
it's
Saints
not
and
even.
Sinners. I
it's-
agree.
It's not even like a contest.
Right. There is no contest in that one regard. Everything else, Resident Evil 7 trounces Saints and Sinners.
Everything else. No.
Everything else. Everything else.
It has. So I like the characters. I think it has great characters. It's got better characters.
Wait,
it's
whoa,
definitely
Saints
better.
and Sinners? I'm sorry. The Baker fucking
Resident Evil
family.
7.
You're putting Saints and Sinners fucking flat ass characters that you barely ever see, a radio that you
You're not
stare
listening.
at
Hey,
against the Baker
listen.
family?
No, I said Resident Evil 7 has has better characters.
Okay. Okay.
But
check.
but again, so and I said I think it's a lot scarier. I love the horror aspect of it. The art design, maybe I'll still give the edge to Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
But again, man, Saints and Sinners is just it's what VR is about, man. It's
I know,
a better
you
VR
keep
game.
coming back to this. I understand
Right,
the one
it's got
thing
better-
that
it's got
Saints and
better
Sinners does
physics.
better. I
It's got
understand
better
that.
physics.
What
you know,
else? Convince
like,
me,
if-
AJ. Convince me, because so far you're not doing a good job. So far, you've only said one thing that Saints and Sinners does better than Resident Evil 7.
No, I think Saints and Sinners is actually like way better as a VR game. It's a benchmark VR title. Like I said, the future. If you look at the future of VR and everything is like Resident Evil 7.
Wait,
That's just
why?
not-
Why?
that's-
Why is
the-
this?
the VR
Why are you making
implementation
up some
is not-
imaginary future? Why aren't we just discussing these games? That's what this is about. These games, not how will this impact the future of gaming?
No,
Who the
I'm
fuck
not
cares?
worried.
Resident Evil 7's a better fucking game. Who cares about how this will impact the future of VR?
I'm not worried about how. I'm saying if I were to look at the two and say which one is a better VR game, yeah, absolutely, Saints and Sinners. But Resident
I know
Evil
it's the
is
same thing you
basically-
keep saying. Saints and Sinners has better VR implementation. I agree. Now what else? Because everything else it does not have better than Resident Evil 7. Nothing else.
It has better survival mechanics. I like the survival mechanics more.
Oof,
Yeah, but
totally disagree.
you're arguing the one thing that's like also one of the most important things. I mean, you're seriously arguing the one thing that's like most important. You say you don't like the way Hitman 3 is implemented. It's almost the same thing as Resident Evil 7.
No. No, if Hitman 3 did it
is.
Resident Evil 7 style.
If Resident Evil wasn't as scary as it is, you would not give two shits about it. You'd be shitting all over it. If it wasn't a really, really scary game, you seriously wouldn't give two shits about it. Which is why you don't
thoroughly
care
disagree.
about what's another
Exactly. There isn't one. Nothing else comes close to Resident Evil 7. Nothing. Nothing. From quality-wise, nothing. Nothing. Because there's not you can't compare it to some other VR game that we've played that isn't horror that comes close to it from a quality perspective because there's nothing. Nothing.
reading what the cat's saying.
Yeah. I know. Because there's no answer. Shades of Grey Matter with the Canadian $2 tip says, "Guys, it's called a tie." Yeah, I know. We have this debate every single time, and we've certainly let this conversation slide every so often, and so that's why I was like definitely interested in like duking it out big time because we let this slide I think last time. We also got Alberto Mapam out of the Gamecat Dojo with the 50 Mexican pesos. Says, "Guys, I gotta go. I left you on Discord a programmed spreadsheet where it auto averages both lists and which you can reuse for later. Saludos." Thank you very much. I don't know. I'm not sure how that helps.
No,
us.
I've just made the same argument a million times, and I've won this the thing. And if you just like Resident Evil 7 more, then what am I going to do? What can I do?
Stupid Donkey with the $2 tip says, "Let Dave make the choice and end this." You got Cold Joker says, "AJ, no boss fights in The Walking Dead." I mean, there's not a whole lot of variety with enemies.
I do like boss fights. Yeah. I love Resident Evil 7, man. It was my number 2.
Yeah, and Saints Sinners is my number 5 or 6 or something.
I just think I play VR to. It's a tricky one. Because I do like everything that Resident Evil 7 is able to achieve, even with its really shitty basic bitch implementation. but yeah, and I think I think I don't know.
Looper the Underground Gamecat with the €2 says, "Okay, survival. Do you have a huge backpack in Resident Evil 7? No, item management. You have you do have.
You have a little menu that pops up like this. Meanwhile, in Saints and Sinners, you can actually reach down and grab.
The VR implementation comes rearing its fucking head again. Surprise, surprise.
But because that is so deep. Because I could talk about grabbing the.
Go ahead. Okay, just get it all out of your system, man, so we can just move on to the other elements that Resident Evil 7 does better.
The inventory system in Resident Evil 7 is a little box that pops up and you select stuff with the D-pad or something like that. Mm-hmm. In Saints and Sinners, you grab a backpack for everything. You equip stuff with the D-pad on Resident Evil 7. Guess how you equip stuff in Saints and Sinners? You actually like pick it from your sides. I mean, isn't that why we play VR or shit like that? Or is that not? Does that not matter in the long run? So yeah, I keep coming back to the same
really enjoy those things in VR.
That shit's not important. That shit isn't like super important.
It's super important, but you've chosen to make those things so important that you've decided to ignore everything else, all of the other comparisons.
Even Astrobot had the wherewithal to make it interactive with the fucking being able to headbutt stuff and being able to use the touchpad to like shoot stuff. Yeah, man.
Shades of Grey Matter says you can grab your backpack to look at a menu.
No, you have your journal. You have your journal. Everything is done with VR in mind for.
And we've been talking about this for 45 minutes, and so far, no one, including me, has disagreed with you on that. But we failed to make any progress on the rest of the games, everything else that these games offer, and Saints and Sinners doesn't have the diversity, or the different, or the characters, or the story, or anything else on top of Resident Evil 7. The one thing it does better is the thing that you are constantly.
It's the main thing you wear a headset for. Oh man, okay.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm not saying that Resident Evil 7 shouldn't be dinged for not having the most immersive controls. But I do like the head aiming. I do like that the wearing the VR headset immerses you in the world to a ridiculous degree, right? So yes, it doesn't have the VR interactions, but it does do other things with the VR immersion perfectly. So that's a ding against Resident Evil 7.
It doesn't do it perfectly. No, it doesn't do it perfectly. That's my whole point here.
Looper the Underground Gamecat, the €2. I'm like lost on this now. He says my point was that Resident Evil 7 has less item slots. It's tougher. That's true, and I do like upgrading my inventory in Resident Evil 7. There's we go on and on and on about all this stuff. There's crafting in both. There's collecting in both. There's horror in both. It's just which one do you like better? And I think we have our answers here. AJ likes Saints and Sinners better, and I like Resident Evil 7 better.
I mean, I like both, man. Like,
dude, we both like both.
Yeah,
they're both really high on our lists.
I like both for different reasons. Yeah. It's not that I really necessarily like one more than the other. It's just this is the best PSVR game, and I feel like I said, I love doing things that you can only do in VR. And I think Saints and Sinners does a better job of that. And on top of that is an amazing game, an amazing survival game. And with great survival mechanics and, a great world to explore. And just from start to finish is incredible. And actually, I think even though Resident Evil 7 has a slightly better art design, a better art design, I would say. I still think Saints and Sinners has better graphics overall.
Oof, I can't agree with that at all. I like
Yeah,
the
and
I like
better
the
and
art
better
design.
scale, better like scope or like size of the enemies and stuff.
Yeah, I can't agree with either of the things you just said. I think Resident Evil 7 goes for realistic and fucking nails it. I think Saints and Sinners goes for more, dark comic book and nails that. And I just really prefer what Resident Evil 7 does. But in the scale, man, holy shit! When you're playing Resident Evil 7, there's the bosses. When Jack is driving around in a car, or you're driving around in a car, you have the option. Which one is it? In the garage, the very first boss fight. I mean, like that event alone, that boss fight alone, is better than anything in Saints and Sinners. That's just one of like
What anything? What are you talking about?
yeah, like that.
Better than
It
anything?
is so impactful. When Jack gets on, sorry, talking about spoilers. I mean, you better fucking play Resident Evil 7 by now, guys. When Jack jumps on top of the car and peels off the roof while you're in VR, you look up and he's pulling. Dude, there's nothing like that in Saints and Sinners. And that is just one. That's just one small area. That's just one boss fight. When the police officer gets killed right in front of you with a shovel through his face, there's nothing like that in Saints and Sinners. This one moment, this 5-minute experience is better than all of Saints and Sinners in my book. And Resident Evil 7 has those things happening over and over and over throughout the course of the game. You're constantly introduced to new areas, new puzzles, and Lucas's section is one big escape room. It's absolutely crazy, man. Like I can't even believe it sometimes that we have this conversation because of the diversity that you experience in Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 is what happens when a AAA flat screen game gets into VR, right? You didn't get all of the VR mechanics, but you get a full-featured, full-length game that has just killer production values from beginning to end. It's scary as fuck. I don't think I was ever scared in Saints and Sinners. That's not true. I think the school scared me because it was so dark.
I'm with Bambino Ramos here. I just can't seriously put Resident Evil at the top of a list of best VR games of all time when you still have to use the DualShock to play it. Has to be Saints and Sinners. I mean, I don't know. I agree with that. But I don't know, man. I don't think any one of us is going to convince the other, and we've got the poll, and the votes are in for Resident Evil 7. I love both games to death for different reasons. I played both of them from start to finish. I think it's a no-brainer that Saints and Sinners is a better VR game. But hey,
yeah, I think
Resident
it's
Evil 7 has bosses, right?
I think it's a no-brainer that
Fuck everything else.
yeah, Saints and Sinners has VR mechanics.
It's
Fuck
built.
everything
It's
else.
built for VR.
It doesn't matter that every area looks the same. Doesn't matter that day 100 is exactly the same as day 2. Don't worry about those little things that get past you. Don't worry that the DLC wasn't that good. Don't worry about anything else, man.
I like the DLC.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was free DLC. It was good. Whatever, But it certainly they should have paid. You say you should have had paid DLC because the paid DLC for Resident Evil 7 was amazing.
I don't know what to tell you here. Because
I know you don't.
You're not going to convince me that Resident Evil 7 is a better VR game. You're not going to convince me that. So where do we go from here?
I mean,
You just can't convince me that.
yeah. I mean, there's.
It could be. You could say it's a better game.
Yeah.
Yes, you could say it's a better game. Absolutely.
Done.
It's not a better VR game. No. I don't give a shit about the DLC. Like, the DLC is great. I like the DLC in both games. I think the DLC in both games are great. I mean, I do think Resident Evil 7 is a better game. I don't think it's a better VR game, and that's what we're here to talk about. And so you're just not going to convince me.
It's
yes.
If that's
yes.
how you're looking at this, then we need to redo the entire list. Because if you're saying only shit that is implemented in with the best VR mechanics
right, but
be,
there's a weight. There's a weight here to that.
and you are way over the top with that
and
weight.
I
When
think
one game is
but
clearly
because,
better
hold on,
than the
hold on.
other in every possible way,
it's better.
except for that.
It's better. It's better. No, because I disagree there. I don't think it's absolutely better in every absolutely single way. No, I think it's a slightly better game that doesn't have VR as good of VR implementation. I do think it's a better game, but it's not like. But the reason I'm going to bat for Saints and Sinners so hard is because it's also a fucking badass game.
It is. That's why it's either number one or two.
You're talking like it's a shit game that has great VR implementation. And you're taunting it like that, but that's not the case at all.
Is this your first time doing a top 25 list? This is how we debate, man. We have to pick apart the negatives, right? This is how we do shit here. We have to pick apart the negatives in order to determine which one is better.
Right.
And so what do you mean? It's either number 2 or number 1. I mean, it's a shit game. It's not. It's fucking awesome. But compared to Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 7 is just better in every way except for the VR implementation, which is still kind of good. I think it's really unfair to say, Resident Evil 7 sucks as a VR game, because that's kind of what you're saying. Because it doesn't suck.
The
menus work great.
What I said now, you just flipped exactly what I said. I wasn't talking mad shit about it. You're fucking talking mad shit about Saints and Sinners like it is bad. Just trying to win the argument, which is fine. That's what this is all about. But again, I keep saying, look, you can say, I like this DLC more. Ooh, like, no, that's not going to fucking convince me.
Well, I said, but that was one of the 17 arguments I made. Meanwhile, the one argument you keep making is the VR implementation. I get it. That's better. I've given that to you 100 times.
What I will say, though, is that the votes, however, because there's no tiebreaker between us except for these votes right now.
Right.
And that's and I don't know what to tell you, man. If you say it's a better VR game, I'm gonna say no. So, and you're gonna say yes. So, the only tiebreaker here difference is the poll, and I'm happy to go with the vote from the cats.
Pretty decent turnout for this.
This gen is. Let me put it this way, man. This gen is the only time I have been okay with games that use like the DualShock and having to lean on using the DualShock some, even though I've always said I prefer games that use the Move controllers.
I generally do too.
Yeah. But yeah, I do love both of these games. Again, it's tough for me too, man. Like it's because I really like these. But yeah, the only tiebreaker we have here is the thing, and I love Resident Evil 7 as well. So I don't know what to tell you. I think there are certainly things that a fucking AAA studio that has millions, bajillions of dollars. Yeah, they're lucky. They're lucky that, I mean, some of that money could have gone into some move support, but
I don't know where you're going with this.
I don't know. A smaller team was able, but it's just weird, man. Like I said, this generation, I am okay with some DualShock games, and I think. I don't know.
Yep, I think.
Why don't we just lean on the vote here? And there's nothing I can do about it, man. There's nothing I can do.
Well, there's nothing either one of us can do.
Voted here.
Yeah, nothing either one of us can do. We are both stuck where we are. I've given up. I've given up the number 1 slot to Saints and Sinners the last couple of top 25 lists.
Yeah.
And I do think that, if we take the poll into consideration, it's clear that Resident Evil 7 should resume its spot at number 1 for the first time in almost a year. Shane Bissett with the $2 tip says, if Resident Evil 7 is the best PSVR game, God of War is on the list too. Thanks for helping out. Ben, I love the Gamecat Army with a $5 tip. AJ, if you're ignoring the Resident Evil 7 DLC, what about Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep?
Yeah, which didn't make it to the list, by the way. Hello.
Yeah, that's crazy. Again,
because it wasn't strong enough. Because it's about the game itself. And
but it's not though. It's about the DLC too. It's about everything. It's about the entire package.
I mean, my point was that I don't think the DLC is the difference maker here, because it's not like the DLC uses move support, or the DLC doesn't really help make a comparison between the two. You put in the DLC or take out the DLC, it's the same fucking arguments, the same argument points that I'm making here, that we're all making here. So I don't know.
Yep. Yep. Some people in the chat are saying that we should poll everybody, and we already did. The poll is still running, so make sure you vote. There's a 10% difference between Saints and Sinners and Resident Evil 7 now, with 130 votes. This is the best turnout we've had for a vote yet. Dave Station says the chat wants a 3-way vote, including Astrobot. Let's go. No, we've already worked too hard to get here.
I would have agreed with that, actually.
But it's again we'd have to do multiple votes, because we're going to say which one deserves to be number one. Again, just like the last time you tried to bring
I don't want to overcomplicate things.
It doesn't make any sense if you do a 3-way vote. It doesn't work at all. It's like 3, 4, 5 are great when you want to eliminate one, but not when you're trying to say which one should be 1 and 2 and 3. I mean, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work that way without giving people 2 votes for each one. Anyway, guys, this has been a very, very long discussion, and I'm totally going to say we've got to put an end to it. This has gone on way too long. We thank you guys for your participation. Resident Evil 7 took the poll, and with no tiebreaker, we're going to say Resident Evil 7 is number 1. Put up a good fight, and it's time to move on. All right, so I don't even know where the lists are anymore. Like, I've got all these windows up. I haven't typed anything on the screen for so long. There it is, final list. Here we go. Number 2, Saints and Sinners, and number 1, Resident Evil 7.
I feel bad for all the people saying Astrobot number 1 in the chat now.
I do too, man. But like, again, we fought long and hard to get there, and so I mean, I don't mind polling everybody and saying should Astrobot be number 1, but I'm not going to say which one should be number 1: Astrobot, Resident Evil 7, or Saints and Sinners.
Cut off a little bit for me. I didn't hear what you said.
That's all right. We made it to the end, and with that in mind, let's get through the top 25 list all the way back 17 hours ago. Number 25, Sniper Elite VR. Number 24, Arashi Castles of Sin. Number 23, Until You Fall. Number 22, Catch and Release. Number 21, Red Matter. 20, Super Hot VR. 19, Rush of Blood. 18, Star Wars Squadrons. 17, Blood and Truth. 16, The Persistence. 15, Moss. 14, Wipeout Omega Collection. 13, Farpoint. 12, Skyrim VR. 11, Firewall 0 Hour. 10, Hitman, which I think we've sort of conceded is the Hitman trilogy. 9 is Dreams. 8 is Zenith. 7 is Wanderer. 6, Song in the Smoke. 5, Beat Saber. 4, No Man's Sky. 3, Astrobot Rescue Mission. 2, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. And number 1, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard.
Woo.
Holy
Pretty happy with this list.
Crap, man. What?
That's a good list.
Whew. I'm exhausted. Is it pizza time? The pizza's here. The pizzas show up. This is absolute insanity.
Crazy, man.
This went on way longer than I was expecting.
Dude,
I'm so fried right now.
I'm so fried. Dude, I couldn't think of game names 2.5 hours in. My brain totally fried. I'm so glad we don't do this for 3 hours every week anymore. This was... I really thought that you and I could get through this in like 90 minutes. I thought it was going to be zip.
Somehow this fucking took more time, so we can no longer blame Dave for this.
Can't blame Dave. Damn, it was so much fun when we could blame Dave. Looper the Underground Gamecat with the 5 years says, and the Saints and Sinners record streak of 4 number 1s in a row is officially interrupted. Four number ones in a row. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I'm hoping that at some point Zenith or Wanderer can get to the point where there's no question and everything is just we just say, hey, there's a new clear winner. Saints and Sinners and Resident Evil 7 are no longer in the discussion for 1 and 2. That will be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get to that day. And I hope we don't have to wait till PSVR 2 to get to that point. Guys,
Well,
I know everybody really wants a 20 questions game right now, but I think we need to call it a night. I want to say thank you, everybody. The fact that a lot of you stuck with us the entire time, some of you came and left and came back was even crazier. It would just thank you so much for all of your time and dedication. We love you all so very much. Thank you to all the mods. Thank you to Jamie Out. Thank you to Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry. Thank you to AJ who stuck through this. I'm sure your toe is not happy with you right now.
No, not at all.
Let's cue the cat and get out of here. Have a good night, everybody.
Cue the cat, Bryan. Have a great weekend at Dave Station VR.
Dave Station? When did Dave Station get here?
He says, I accept the blame. Vuko the Game Cat, Professor Lilith, Jazzy J, the Terror Mage Game Cat, the Pokemon Bro, the Game Cat, Stupid Donkey, Tom Flesh Eater Gaming, Ben L of the Game Cat Army. Thank you so much, man. Nicole the Nike, Alexandria, Greek Goddess Game Cat. This is Astro One.
That name
Dark Angel 3 Dead Keeper Hack the Game Cat. I knew it was lit up in here. Fist bump to you, Steve IRE. Everyone's mad about 20 questions. Nihilist Ryan the Game Feline. RG, he says, I didn't expect to stick, or Nihilist Ryan says, I didn't expect to stick around for the whole thing, but I couldn't look away.
kind of a train wreck.
Scott Jesco Pizza in there, PSVR Game Cat for Life, Eastville. Time to play with Game Cats. Inzadi, Wild Hour, the Game Cat. JCD, Inimitable. Dueling ass kicking Game Cat. Davies, you're a little late, yes. Sorry. X. Beyond Groove, Robert the Game Cat, remember Wounded Toe. Hashtag remember Wounded Toe. J Meow says Astrobot is the best game, period. Distracted Game Cat. Twitch of the I Love Swordsman Now Game Cat. Bambino Ramos. Yeah, man, it's all good, man. We'll get them next time. Markio, the grumpy old Game Cat. Dude, I'm still laughing about that freaking dive you did last night. That was amazing. The leap of faith. Super Galaxy Godstar, later, man. Zombie 5150, meow. Dead Ringer, good to see you, man. Anyone else? Dan Keeper, Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house. Guys.
Freddie, I've seen some comments about shaking hands and like everything salty, this and that. Don't listen. We warned you guys about this at the beginning of the show. We knew that shit might get out of control. We knew that there'd be yelling and screaming. No, there's no hard feelings here. AJ and I still love each other
all.
very much.
I didn't make these games.
Yeah, right. I mean, if I did, I would have made Saints and Sinners better. I definitely would have given Resident Evil 7 move support.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Happy Friday. Thank you
Hope
again.
the extra weight was. Hope the weight was worth it.
We love you guys.